think Jeff Hunt's supposed to be doing it, but
Top down. 15. Jody 15. Tyler Boyd 10.
it's a 2026 National Driving Championship here today in beautiful Clinton, Ontario. Check out the view high above a famous oval in Canadian racing. It's not only National Driving Championship Day, but it's also Legends Day, bringing the best of both worlds together for one memorable afternoon. 8 of the finest drivers across the nation are here today trying to punch their ticket to the 2027 World Driving Championship. The festivities are already underway. We've got one competition race already in the books, and it's heating up right away as we join you here on Primetime Racing. Welcome to the desk, everybody. My name is Mark McKelvey, alongside Greg Blanchard as usual, and a special guest with us today, 2025 World Driving Champion, two-time World Driving Champion, James McDonald. And James, it's only fitting we have you here today. You know a thing or two, not just about driving, of course, but these championships and these tournaments. And is it nice to be on this side of things, watching a competition like this, knowing you're already through to next year's Worlds?
100%. It's going to be a slobber knocker out there, Mark. It's a stressful day, especially you're already started back there in the paddock, and you're like, oh, I got 6 points, and Jody's got 15. You know, so it's a stressful day. It's a lot of fun though, and you got to soak it all up and enjoy it as much as you can. But these guys are going to have a blast out there today.
They certainly will. And Greg, the festivities got underway last night. There was the welcome dinner. And for those that tuned in, a lot of fun. I know you really enjoyed it. How's the weekend been so far?
Yeah, excellent. I think everybody across the board's having a fantastic weekend, enjoying the experience. A lot to offer in Huron County in this part of the world. And for a lot of these guys, it's their first time ever getting to visit this area and first time competing at Clinton Raceway. So it's going to be an adjustment period for a couple of them. So for the locals, I think it's a little bit of an advantage, especially early in the competition. But overall, yeah, a lot of camaraderie with the guys. They had a blast last night at Cowbell Brewing just up the road in Blythe. And they're having fun, and they're just all trying to soak in the moment and make the most of it. Let's
go back a couple of years ago, James. I remember we were in Trois-Rivières for the 2024 Nationals. Tell us a bit about that experience, because if you were one of the Ontario guys, you know this track. You've raced at Clinton many, many times, but you got a chance to go to Quebec, enjoy a couple of days. What was it like just to get away?
Oh, it's great. You know, this time of year our schedule is so busy, so it's great to get away for a couple days. Like Greg touched on, it's just a great event. It's a great. I love how Canada selects their national champion and who competes in the Worlds, because it's not only is it a great way to meet people from all over the country, unite everyone, unite all the racing communities, but it's also you're battle tested. You come into the Worlds, you're ready. You kind of know what to expect. You're racing against people you don't know. You're trying to adapt to a style you don't know, and I think it definitely gives our drivers a leg up.
That is how you find out who represents Canada. You go from the regionals to the nationals, and whoever wins this then will go on to the Worlds coming up next year, and it's going to be here on home soil in Canada. Greg, it was announced last night where the 2027 Worlds are going to be, and they're going to go coast to coast once again.
They are going to start out west in Alberta, and they're going to have the first two legs, in fact. Track on 2 and then Century Downs, both going to host a leg there. It's going to come east and go to Woodbine Mohawk Park. That's going to be a nice centerpiece of the event, then on to Quebec and Trois-Rivières, and it's going to wrap up, I think fittingly, Old Home Week in Charlottetown. I mean, there'll be thousands of people there to cheer on our Canadian representatives, and yeah, I mean, I'm sure you're already excited thinking about that, being a PEI guy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting goosebumps thinking back to 2017 wearing the red and white, and Old Home Week, like you said, jogging by the grandstand, it would just erupt. I could be 50-1, you know, no shot, 8-hole, and I couldn't jog by the grandstand. They would just go wild. So I expect whoever gets to join me in PEI in 2027 is just going to have a time like they've never seen before. And I'm excited for myself, but I'm super excited for the other Canadian representative, because it's something I will never forget, something I'll cherish my whole life, and something I'm excited to see again.
We'll talk about your experience at the Worlds back in November in New Zealand as the afternoon goes along, but I wanted to first touch on the fact that by winning that, you get another chance to go to the Worlds. Now, it's a little different. You're not necessarily representing Canada. Of course, you're Canadian, but you'll be representing the World Trotting Association or Conference. But tell us a bit about how that's all going to play out.
Yeah, it's always a little different when there's another Canadian representative. I went through that in Sweden when Doug was representing Canada, and it's not a 2 versus 1 or 2 versus 8 or anything like that, but it's sure you feel like you're still representing your country, and at the end of the day, it's a competition. You're trying to do your best and trying to find a way to beat 9 others, and no matter who wins today, that's what it's going to be again come August 2027.
So we're going to find out here this afternoon at Clinton who will advance to next year's World Driving Championship to represent Canada. They'll join James and drivers from across the world right here on home soil. The competition is already underway, Greg, and we're going to pick up the final moments of our first leg. And the hometown favorites, so to speak, are going to finish 1-2 in Jody Jamieson and Tyler Borth, which they're going to come here ready to play, and they've already picked up some valuable points.
Yeah, they drove it an overnight right off the bat in race number 1. They finished 1-2. They were a nose apart, so perhaps setting the tone for the day as we thought, and wouldn't you know it, they finished 1-2 here in the opening contest of the competition, but there really wasn't much drama. There was no photo finish this time. Jody Jamieson jumping up on Mel's Legacy for the first time, and boy did he click with this guy. 0 for 17 coming in, but this is how much a world-class driver can lift a horse.
And for Jody, a past world driving champion 2 times as well, he knows everything about these competitions. Is it a case, James, when you go out here, you just want to be aggressive? What is the driving style in these? Because I know in the past you've always told me you just got to chip away. You don't want to fall too far behind. But there's certainly something, especially on a half-mile track, to getting these horses in play early.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you gotta adjust to the track you're at, the horses you're driving. There's a lot goes into it, but to me, I think the biggest thing is pick your spots. Like, if you think you can win, if you think you got to maximize points with every horse. So if you got a 3-hole like Jody did there and a good shot, you got to find a way to get the most out of it. If you don't win, you got to be second. You don't want to be jeopardizing valuable points and finishing 6th. But I think if this challenge had been held maybe a month ago, we might have seen a little different way it played out, but you're looking at a guy that is absolutely on fire in Jody Jamieson. He might be driving as good as he's ever driven right now, and he's a force to be reckoned with anywhere he goes, and you bring him to a small track where he knows well, he's going to be very, very difficult to beat.
I think it was a week ago today, he had 7 Sire Stake race wins across a couple of tracks. Like you said, he's been tearing it up, sweeping the golds the other night at Woodbine Mohawk Park. So Jody Jamieson, red hot coming in. Tyler Borth, he did very well, of course, in the regionals to find his way back to another NDC. He was with you in Quebec, and you won on that day, but he was right there. He performed real well.
Yeah, he's a guy, like we said, he's got experience. Now he's been to the Nationals before. He's got a taste for what it's like, and I think he wants to win it now. He knows these horses very well. He's driven on this track lots. He's a London guy that raced there. A lot of the horses come from there, to come here. So he knows the horses well. He knows the trainers well. It's a big advantage to be at your home track. It's not necessarily a home track to him, but it's one he knows well. And I expect him to be super hungry today.
Let's meet the rest of the field for the NDC. Greg, I'll kick things over to you. You had a great chance to chat with all the participants last night. Some characters definitely in the bunch.
There is. Jody, I guess, would be, close to the top there. Always so personable, ultra confident in himself. And that's the theme I noticed with all these guys. Even first-timer like Keith Legg, he's obviously realizes it's a daunting task, but he's got that inner confidence that you need. Kelly Hort's a real showman, too, from out west. And, having a couple of guys like that, Nick Boyd as well, kind of loosened up the rest of the guys. And I think they're kind of leading the way. And it's a competition, but the guys are really, really bonding and gelling and having a lot of fun together too, and enjoying experiencing this together. So it's really fun to see. And but all of that aside, today I think the game face comes on, and there's no friends out there now.
Well, we're going to meet the horses coming onto the track for race number 3. It's going to be the second leg of the NDC, as the horses got the call to the post here just a couple of moments ago. So we'll see them here in a little bit. Clinton Raceway, of course, as mentioned, every 2 years they do host Legends Day, and that is part of the festivities here. So really, like I said off the top, bringing the best of both worlds together. And the Legends Day race, Greg, is one that we always look forward to, getting to see the Hall of Famers in action, and extra special on a day like today when you mix it in with the NDC.
Yeah, was a fun component, going back to last night, having the legends there, and these guys competing, are like, kids seeing their heroes, right? And myself included, Bill O'Donnell, John Campbell, Carl Jamieson there, Mike Saftik, and Wally Hennessy and others. And, so that's a really neat addition to the event. And I think it's going to be fun to watch them competing a little bit later today as well. But, speaking of legends, we're sitting with one right now. His legend's growing. And I wanted to ask James about a busy weekend. You had a busy and productive weekend, and you're more and more now. You're getting more out of town work, I guess, at this time of year, and that's something you got to be real proud about.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing just to get to, I was flying from the Meadows yesterday to the Meadowlands and just sitting with people like Tim Tetrick and Dexter Dunn and just pick their brain and as you guys know me well. I like to talk, so there wasn't too many quiet moments. But it's exciting getting to drive great horses at great tracks for great trainers and owners. And I'm just still got to pinch myself every now and again, make sure I'm not dreaming, and just count my blessings every day that I get to go out there and have some success and keep banging away. But to touch back on what you said about Legends Day, I don't think it ever gets old for me running into John Campbell or Steve Condren and those guys, and I just love showing up and just hearing their stories, hearing the way they used to carry themselves, and some of their race stories. It's awesome.
Would you still pick their brains and try and, still at this point get little pointers or advice or just some perspective on things?
Yeah, it's the first thing I did when I saw John Campbell. He was telling me, congratulations on a great day or whatever. And then the first thing I said was, what do you think on Mamba? Like, do you think I should have maybe blasted and tried to win that way? Or because I was going to pay the price if I went out of there. It was probably going to be hot fractions, and then I was going to get tested again early. So. And he was, obviously he's not going to disagree. He said, I thought you drove perfect. You had him in a good spot, but it's just the horse raced amazing, just didn't win. So that's horse racing.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask fully about your Adios Day experience. We were lucky with Primetime Racing to be there yesterday. It was a great day of racing. I mean, this 3-year-old Pacing Colt group, you've got the NA Cup winner and odds on Mr. Mamba, but we're starting to get the vibe. I mean, there's 4 or 5 of them that look like they might just trade wins at these top-level races. Yeah,
like you said, you had Mambo win the NA Cup, then you had Brandon Boulevard win the Pace, now you've had Al Poppy win the Adios, and then Malello's been right there in all 3. So maybe it's his turn next. I hope not. I hope it's Mamba for the rest of the year. But it's a great bunch of 3-year-olds that have just been going to war, and that's what you love to see from the Glamour Boys. You want to see the fans tune in to see the heavyweights go toe-to-toe and see who's around to talk about it. And I'm hoping that'll be Mamba, and hopefully it can work out some better trips, and we'll have just an amazing year.
Well, Greg, you mentioned just how busy this time of the year is, and for these drivers, take time out of their schedule to come be a part of an event like this. And for the guys who are coming from whether it be the East Coast, the West Coast, it's a great weekend to get away, and they've got a lot of family and friends with them. What was the cheering sections like? Because I see some T-shirts out there on the apron. I see there are some fan clubs in attendance here today.
Yeah, there are, and that's really another great thing to see. It's kind of bringing the industry together on a weekend like this from across the country, and it's kind of rejuvenating. I really feel good about it. Like watching the coverage from you guys yesterday south of the border. I mean, it looks like a great day. Having Primetime Racing down there collaborating to bring that coverage to everybody, being here today and doing that too, and then having guys from all across Canada. There's a real tone of optimism, I would say, right now, and rejuvenation, especially here in Ontario with the recent increase in purses that was announced, and some of the positive things that are happening. So I would say it was just great to see that they had these cheering sections here, and they were loud, and they were especially loud when the announcements came of where the World Driving Championships legs were going to be held next year. The place erupted because I think some of that was unknown going into last night, which I wasn't aware of. So that was a lot of fun too. But yeah, you're going to hear when, if a guy from Eastern Canada or Western Canada, for example, clicks here today, you're going to hear it in the crowd out there.
All right, so we are going to get to that post-parade now. I think the Bugler was maybe just a few minutes ahead of time. They were getting the track ready to go as the water truck did its pass here at Clinton. So the horses come out. There's Emma Christopher, the outrider, here today at Clinton. So we're going to meet the field, and Greg, I'll kick things over to you here to kick things off as the number one in this event on the trot is Esquire.
Esquire, a nice hard-hitting type, rarely ever misses the board, loves this particular track. Kelly Horde will get on board this one from post number one, so I think a big chance. And I get a chance to see a lot of these horses race here on a fairly regular basis. If I'm not calling the races on a Sunday, Mark, I'm often up on the hill with my lawn chair. It's just such a great venue. So Esquire is one I've seen a lot of. I think Kelly's got a real live drive here.
Horse coming from Dresden is going to be Junior, the number 2 for the Dufords, to be driven by Phil Giesbrecht, one of the Western Canadian representatives here. I saw Phil as soon as I got out of the car today. He's certainly having a lot of fun over the last couple of days being a part of the NDC once again.
Keith Legg will drive the veteran Kilmartin Dreamer from post 3. 0 for 17 coming in, but it was an 0 for 17 record that clicked back in race 2. Who knows?
Stefan Brosseau is going to drive the number 4 Ring the Alarm for Dennis Morrissey, a horse that was a winner 2 back, third last time out. Stefan Brosseau representing Quebec and Eastern Ontario.
Tyler Borth, runner-up in the opening contest here this afternoon. He's got the 5 Muscle Up the Gold, one that could improve in here. This 7-year-old mare has back class to call upon, $150,000 career winner, and knows this track well. And I think if anyone can lift her a little bit, maybe put her into play earlier, it's Tyler Borth.
Good look there at Just Show Up. Jody Jameson in the bike as he tries to go back-to-back. Drives this one for Melissa Loyer as Jody kicked things off on the right note, winning the first leg. And again, as mentioned, 2-time world driving champion.
Some good news and bad news for Chase and Jaden. Bad news is Outside Post hasn't been able to win in a couple of seasons, but does get Nick Boyd, leading driver from Kawartha Downs, in the driver's seat here this afternoon. So he'll try and weave some magic from that Outside Post.
And to wrap things up is going to be Toscano girl Mark Campbell from the East Coast here today to do the driving for Randy Harris, as they will try and make something happen from a second-tier starting spot. A horse that is got back into action, needed to regroup with a qualifier, and now making the second start off the bench. So that's a field of 8 for race number 3, second leg of the National Driving Championship. James, want to pick your brain on some of the gentlemen that are coming from other parts of the nation. Have you driven against pretty much everybody here? I know we've got kind of a mixed group in terms of experience, but plenty of experience overall.
Yeah, I think I've driven against everyone in this competition outside of Keith Legge. I've never raced with him. He was up in Ontario working here a few years ago. Got to know him well. Really nice guy, and messages every now and again. We talk a little bit, usually about our golf game, but today it's all horses all the time, and this is a great even race. You want middle of the gate, I think, some of these times with these trotters, but it's always in the back of your head. You cannot make a break because that's points gone. So sometimes when you're doing your draft, you're looking for X's and maybe a little eerie about taking them. But if you have a later pick, sometimes it's boom or bust, and you can maybe find a diamond in the rough.
I wanted to ask James, I hadn't met Keith before last night either. And when I first met him, I immediately thought he looked very similar to another Maritime driver, another well-known horseman there. Did you get the same impression when you met him?
Yes and no. I mean, I think you talk about Darren Crow a little bit, right?
Yeah.
No, he had a great driver in his own right around the East Coast for a lot of years. He's hopefully tuning in to cheer on Keith today. But I could see the resemblance. I see it. But he's, like you said, a good guy, and did a heck of a job in the first race, getting a third with a long shot, and that's what it's all about.
They're critical, right? Those like thirds and fourths can end up being crucial and sometimes the deciding factor.
Yeah, you just feel like you're stealing points when you're 20 or 30 to 1 and you get a 3 or a 4, and that's the biggest thing is don't make mistakes, and when other people make mistakes, take advantage of them, because they're such a great group of drivers. There's not going to be too many mistakes out there, so they're trying to force each other into it, and Keith's horse looks nice and calm and ready to go, Kilmartin Dreamer, and be great to see him bang away some more points for the East Coast here.
What can you say about driving on this track? Obviously, it's tight, and for the guys that have the experience over it, I do think it's a bit of a leg up. But as this competition rolls along and the afternoon goes, everybody's going to get into a rhythm. But what's it like racing here at Clinton? Is there do's and don'ts, so to speak? I mean, that first turn can come up pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean it's your typical tight half-mile track, and it's a big advantage, like you said, for the guys that race here or race at tracks like that. Like Keith Legge raced at Truro. Now Truro is a great half, but a lot of experience racing on smaller halves. Whereas guys from the West Coast, there's not as many out there. Like Kelly Hortz racing at Century or the Track on 2 or wherever they happen to be racing out west. Same with Phil. So Phil has raced here before. He was in Ontario before, so he's raced at this track. He knows it a little bit, but it's still a big adjustment. You want to be close, but you want to be trotting here is the main thing.
It's still early in the competition, but the points are valuable in each and every leg. So it's time for leg 2 of the National Driving Championship, and with the call today is Shannon Sugar Doyle. He's up in the announcer's booth. He's got the play-by-play.
On home soil here in Canada. So trotters, Esquire, Kelly Hort, Jr., Phil Giesbrecht, Kilmartin Dreamer, Keith Legge, Ring the Alarm, Stefan Brosseau, Muscle Up the Gold, Todabor, Just Show Up, Jody Jamieson, Chase and Jade and Nick Boyd, a trailing spot, Toscano Girl, Mark Campbell. Here they come. And there they go. A gapped up beginning for race favorite Esquire. He's 5th in the early going. Out looking for the lead. Phil Giesbrecht on board a trotter in Junior, and he sent the old fella to the top early. Kilmartin Dreamer is going to pocket up in 2nd. Trotting from 3rd, Ring the Alarm. Settling into 4th, Just Show Up. So here we go. Phil Giesbrecht Jr. on top. It's Kilmartin Dreamer, Keith Legge sitting 2nd. Stefan Brosseau with Ring the Alarm in 3rd. And sitting 4th, we've got Just Show Up for Jody Jamieson, who's peeking to the outside. Away in 5th, Esquire for Kelly Hort. Moving to the outside in 6th, Muscle Up the Gold for Todabor. Saving ground, Nick Boyd with Chase and Jaden. And trailing the field was Toscano Girl for Mark Campbell. Quarter mile clocked in 29-1. Down in front of us, they travel in front of the Sunday afternoon crowd at Clinton. It's going to be 3 in and 5 out with 1 lap to go in the 3rd. Junior got the marching orders, and he gets them by the half in minute. 2/5 for Phil Giesbrecht. Up and at him on the outside. Ring the Alarm. The mare for Stefan Brosseau is challenging as they get on to the 5/8. A toe up in 3rd for Jody with Just Show Up. Saving ground along the inside. Kilmartin Dreamer, Keith Legge still up there in the top 3. Saving ground still along the inside, trying to get what she can. Chase and Jaden for Nick Boyd. Wide side, Esquire. Kelly Hortz coming late. Up between trotters. Toscano Girl, Mark Campbell trailing. Not out of it. Todabor Muscle Up the Goal. Throw, well, blanket over them. After 3/4, 131-1. Brosseau takes control. Ring the Alarm. The mare on top by a length and a quarter. Second best, Junior for Giesbrecht going a big one. Off stride went Toscano Girl, moving into 3rd. Jamieson for Just Show Up. It's Stefan Brosseau. Bring him on home. Stefan Brosseau wins it aboard. Ring the Alarm. Junior was a good 2nd for Phil Giesbrecht. Just Show Up 3rd. Jody Jamieson. 4th goes to Keith Legge with Kilmartin Dreamer. 202-1.
Want me to write it for you?
Stefan Brosseau gets the victory in leg 2 of the NDC race number 3 here on this Sunday afternoon at Clinton. I got my scorekeepers to my right, James and Greg, trying to fill it in as I came across the wire. A good performance here from this 5-year-old mare for trainer Dennis Morrissey. They'll be pumped up to get a win here on Legends Day and in the NDC. But going around the last turn there, James, you remarked to us you thought Jody looked like a winner in that second over position, but things got a little bumpy there, and he does recover here to hold on to the 3, but if this is maybe a little cleaner around that far turn, Jody might have got right back to the winner's circle.
Yeah, and those things they'll haunt you later in the day. If and when it gets tight late, then you look back and you say, if I hadn't hooked that wheel, I was a winner or second. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe he got all he was getting anyway, but it sure looked like he had a lot of trot and they got tangled up. But that stuff happens on these small tracks, and and great to see Stefan Brosseau get the job done.
So we're taking a look here now at what the racing action around the far turn and trying to see maybe there was wheels hooked. It was Mark Campbell and Jody Jamieson, and the inquiry sign is up here, so that could haunt you even more, James, if they determined maybe Jody was at fault in this one.
How nervous is Jody right now is going to be what I asked.
Oh yeah, he'd be sweating bullets. Jody's pretty good on the phone though, and he knows how to get the best result from the judges. So it's scary though. That something like that. It's a hard shot to tell who's in the wrong. All you can go by is they'll call both drivers, ask them what they saw. They might call the drivers that were behind them. So it's definitely sweat time.
All right, we've got 20 seconds to break here, Greg, but I mentioned these connections. They'll be real happy with this win.
Oh, these folks absolutely love racing at tracks like Clinton, the Morrisseys, and this will be a big, big win. They've got a busload, and I'm not lying. They have a bus up here today with people to watch the competition today and, of course, cheer this horse on.
All right, Stefan Brosseau on the board with a win. We'll be back with more. And we bring you back to Primetime Racing's coverage of the 2026 National Driving Championship presented by Standardbred Canada here at Clinton Raceway. And there's a look at Ring the Alarm. Nice slow motion shot in front of a packed house. I was just looking over our shoulders here, guys, and it's a warm day. I was going to say shades at a premium, but you couldn't ask for much better conditions, Greg, for what we're getting here this afternoon.
Beautiful. It gets quite hot here in Clinton, but today there's a nice breeze. We're, of course, in a great spot under the canopy here, so that's fantastic. And I know folks are watching from home today, too, in the comfort of their own homes, including the legendary Dan Loisel, the longtime thoroughbred voice of racing in Canada, and he had a shout out for us, so we wanted to say hi to Dan. Hope you're enjoying the show.
A Hall of Famer, lots of Hall of Famers here today. I saw the Canadian Horse Racing Hall of Fame already set up in a booth there, and the induction ceremony is coming up in just a few weeks for this year's class. Mike Saftik going to be a part of that, and he is going to be in today's Legends Day race.
Yeah, he is, and what a great career Mike had, and a kind of a quiet, reserved guy. He kind of flew a little bit under the radar. He wasn't the flashy guy, and I think that's exactly the way he liked it. Even keel, and that was his career. And when you look back and think about the great horses he's been associated with over the years, I think of horses like Alimony right off the bat, and to do what he did and then to be recognized is fantastic, and great to have him here with us today.
What was Mike like to race against?
He's just as you described him as a person, that's how he was on the track. He was a gentleman to drive with. He was tough, when he raced hard, but it was very fair and no Bush League stuff. He was always all class all the way. Everyone in the room loved him, and he was an easy guy to cheer for, that's for sure. And I was fortunate enough to come into a room with a lot of great people that were very well respected, and it helped me kind of learn the way you're supposed to act in a room and be professional, and that's kudos to Mike and the crew for that.
Absolutely. We're going to take another timeout, and when we come back, we will get you the official results from race number 3 and have the updated standings as we roll along the National Driving Championship on Primetime Racing. Welcome back, Primetime Racing at the NDC 2026 here in Clinton, Ontario, as we are rolling right along. The aerial shots from the drone, just incredible, and there really isn't many scenes like this in harness racing, Greg. I know I'll get talking to folks who come up here from the U.S. or some other parts, and they always say, what's that track with the ball diamonds in the infield?
Yeah.
We got a couple of them here, but you know, these aren't just your run-of-the-mill plop a track anywhere. I mean, this is a well-maintained, well-kept place.
Yeah, for sure. And they've got the famous red barn up on the hill, and that's usually captured in photos as well, and people notice that, and it's a very distinctive landmark here. And it's just a beautiful part of the world. We stayed at the Ben Miller Inn about 15 minutes away yesterday. What an incredible spot. It's an inn and spa in this area. And then the event last night was held at the Cowbell Brewery in Blythe, which is just one town over, and I mean that's as nice a facility as you've ever been in, and a lot of nice beaches in the area too. And you know I like the beach.
You like a good beach,
Mark, and I might even make a quick pit stop here on the way home if this heat stays like it is, because some of the nicest beaches you'll find anywhere in Ontario as well. Beautiful area.
Absolutely, it is gorgeous up here. I heard a few people say it's God's country around these parts. Jody Jamieson, Tyler Borth, they got off to a real nice start in the first leg. And there's one other member of our broadcast team we haven't met yet this afternoon. That is Jamie McDonald. She's standing by with the Ontario reps.
And of course, our Ontario drivers join us now, Jody and Tyler. And I'm going to start with Tyler. So, Tyler, of course, how has it been, just the festivities and being a part of this?
Yeah, no, it's been a great day. Yesterday was fun with the kids and stuff. I thought they put on a great show for them. And then today when we went over there to sign some autographs and stuff, it was just a huge crowd. And then, as you can see now, the grandstand's packed. So it's a really exciting day, and we're looking forward to it. And we're off to a pretty good start.
And you do have your own whole cheering squad here in their orange shirts, so that's excited to see. Family and friends came to cheer you on?
Yes, they did. I didn't know nothing about the orange shirts, but I know now, and there's quite a few of them, so I'm not sure how much that cost them. But, yeah, it's nice of them to come and support me.
Thank you, and good luck today. We're excited to see you out on the track. And Jody, just real quick, obviously, I mean, you've been here many times before. You've been a world champion twice, a national champion twice. That three-peat, it's got to be on your mind.
Yeah, big time. Like I said, it'd be in the interview there after the first division when I won it. I was nervous before. I don't think anyone says that they weren't nervous would be lying, but I feel good. The horses, I think I got a good lineup. Everybody got to pick their horses, so I'm really excited about it. We got one down and I got a few more to go here, but I'm really excited about it.
And just real quick, minus the National Driving Championship on the line here, how proud of your daughter, Sierra, yesterday competing in the junior? Yeah,
I mean, she did so good. Her pony has been kind of crappy for her the last 2 years, but yesterday she got up for a 4th place finish, and she was so happy. Her pony, Luna, did such a great job, and she was so happy. It was just so awesome to see it. We're starting them young and, going to build them up right to here.
Well, thanks for joining us here, and good luck this afternoon.
Thanks a lot, Jake.
All right, fantastic getting to hear there from Tyler Borth and Jody Jamieson, a couple of rivals and colleagues of James McDonald on a nightly basis at Woodbine Mohawk Park, both hoping to come away with the win here today. For Jody, it would be another trip to a World Driving Championship. For Tyler, it would be his first. So the results held as they crossed the wire. There was no change in terms of that order of finish. The updated standings ticking across the bottom of your screen there. Jody Jamieson has the lead, up by 3 points on Stefan Brousseau. Of course, the guys who have won the first 2 races are going to sit 1-2 for the time being. Kelly Hort quietly up there into 3rd, and that's all that matters, is that you just continue to hold ground as the horses are going to come out of the paddock in just a moment for race number 4. I want to say a special hello to everybody that is tuning in, joining us across the country on Game Plus, and those that are watching worldwide here on the Primetime Racing social channels. Got a nice message from Michael Carter at the Meadows thanking us for being down there yesterday. Mike and the entire gang, Mike and Liz watching today. Mike did a fantastic job. It was a great afternoon of racing. First time being a part of a broadcast for the Adios, and I thought it went terrific. Really one of the kind of pinnacle or best days of the racing calendar in the United States.
Yeah, I was watching yesterday afternoon. Fantastic. And let's give kudos to our good friends at Cujo Entertainment. Yeah, to be down there remotely and pull that kind of a broadcast off, and then back here today as well. He's got Cam, of course, holding the fort here, does a great job, and all the crew. So, it's a small team, but they are second to none in North America for racing coverage, and we're just blessed to be a part of it.
Just never know where we might show up these days. That's like what we're saying about James. You don't know what track he's going to be at this time of the year, but same for the primetime racing crew. And I think it's always nice when you go to different parts to have some familiar faces, some friendly faces back home.
Absolutely, yeah. It's always great to travel around, see everyone, and you guys don't give yourselves enough credit. Mark, I saw you working the desk yesterday for CBS, yeah. And it was from what I saw, I was racing, but from what I saw, it looked like a great show. I saw lots of good feedback on social media, and yeah, you always you're here, you're there, you're everywhere, and it's the racing community is lucky to have you and Greg Blanchard, and stuck between two also part-time announcers. So tough shoes to fill here.
I was just going to say, maybe we get James calling a race. You think if we sent him up top, Sugar? He's let you call one before.
In London, didn't you?
Oh, I'm not very good at it. I announce in the barn. I can do all kinds of impersonations, but just when it comes to sitting up there and calling the race, it's just too stressful for me.
The afternoon is still young. You never know. Although James has to go to his actual job later on and race tonight at Woodbine Mohawk Park.
I think we need to get this posted somewhere on social. I want to hear these impressions at some point.
So, Greg, there's I think we can't find the video, unfortunately. But last year, James sent me a message after because I knew he does a mean Mike Bosich impersonation. Mike Bosich, the race caller at Harris, Philadelphia. And they crossed paths. How did he know that you did a good impersonation? And then he asked for it right on camera.
Yeah, it was just kind of, he did an interview with me, and it was the first time I'd ever met him in person. I'm obviously a big fan of his race calling and watch it all the time. And yeah, we finished the interview, and I said, actually, I do a pretty good impersonation of you. And then later in the day, we were going out for post-parade, and they were doing some shots just as the horses were going onto the track. And he said, do you think we could get that Mike Bosich impersonation real quick? And it was pretty good at the time, but we've had a tough time finding the video. I wish we could get our hands on it again. But yeah, I like Greg will know this one well, but I like doing a Boomer Gallant. I did one of him at a restaurant last year when we were in PEI having a few beverages. But no, some really great race callers in this sport, and just love trying my hand at it every once in a while.
Do you do any good impressions, Greg?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do any today,
okay.
But I'll break those out at some point. But and that's the thing, right? We're all fans of the sport, and there's so many, as you said, really good callers and so many unique callers. And a guy like Mike,
yep.
He's an excellent caller. He's got a very unique style, unique voice, big booming type voice. And he's a lot of fun too. Like, I've seen some of his social media stuff, and we've got characters like that all over the place. And you mentioned Boomer Gallant. I took part, myself and Sugar Doyle, calling here today, took part in a reunion event last week from Summerside back in PEI, which is where we both started. We did it remotely, but it would have been so cool to be there with Boomer Gallant and Joey Mills, who was a past announcer there, Alan McDonald, and, of course, Vance Cameron, who's the current legend there. So that was a lot of fun. And, yeah, Boomer was a guy that a lot of people wanted to hear that day, and he sounded exactly like he did 30-plus years ago.
Those distinctive voices, those voices that just live in your mind, those that call this great sport. Horses on the track, as you just watched the post parade a couple moments ago for race number 4. And Jody Jamieson's got the rail. Now, it's a draft to determine which horses you're going to drive in this championship. Can you take us through the process a little bit, James, of how this all works? I know they've kind of tinkered with the format at times, but what do you think of how it comes together?
I love the draft. I think it's like it rewards people that do their homework and really pay attention to the horses, the trainers, the form, how they're coming in. There's a lot that goes into it. Basically, the draw is done with no drivers on it, I believe is how they do it now. That's how we did the last one I was in. And then you don't need to drive from every post. It's just you get first pick, second pick, third pick, fourth pick, and so on. So sometimes I like to do it. I'll get a few of my buddies that I trust and are good at handicapping, and get them to go through the program, rank the horses 1 through 8. I'll rank them myself 1 through 8, and then I have at least 3 to go off of. And I know in years prior I've had maybe 7th pick or 6th pick, and maybe there's a horse that I had picked for 3rd, or one of my buddies had picked for 3rd still available. And it's just, even if it's not necessarily the best horse in the race, in your mind you've stolen something, or you've got an advantage on someone. So it's very important. The draft is something you really need to study, and I know Tyler Borth would have, and Jody would have, and all the guys involved, they want this bad. So they spent a lot of time doing this, and a lot of work goes into it.
I think you bring up a good point about kind of leveraging those around you. I'm sure for some of those guys from different parts of Canada, they know people here in Ontario, and they know they can maybe call in a favor and ask and see if there's any input and maybe where they need to go. As you get a good look at Tyler Borth. I thought he was going to come right on the set there for a second. Join us right here in the infield. We haven't taken a close look at this race. I see the 5 Teen Tadler is taking a good bit of action on the board, a horse that doesn't get to the winner's circle all too often, but really chips away with good results. Mark Campbell's going to drive. Talk a bit about Mark Campbell. He's got to have to pick it up here after a couple of legs, still lots of time, but a very talented driver from the East Coast.
Yeah, he's a legend in Prince Edward Island. Just always a perennial top driver in Prince Edward Island and around the East Coast. Fantastic guy. Actually, when I first started driving, my first horse I ever jogged in Ontario was for Mark Campbell. It's his own horse. So he was working for my brother Anthony, and I just kind of I moved up, finished school, and was kind of just learning my way into the sport. And Mark's a guy that helped me out a lot, and was doing quite well in Ontario, and then he decided to start his family and go back home, and it just had nothing but success since he's gone back to Prince Edward Island. And I know he's a super competitive guy, and he wants to get rolling here and get some points in the next couple races. He knows how important they are.
Good look at the NDC trophy, and we will find out later on who is going to lift that above their head. Just quickly looking at this field, Greg, who's catching your eye in here? They're going to be going to the gate in about a minute.
Well, you talk about Mark Campbell, and I think he's got a sneaky good chance here. Teen Tatler, again, a horse that he's situated in the barn right up on the hill just beside the Red Barn. George McClure, one of his bread and butter horses. And you talk about ultra consistent. And the thing I really like about him, he's a grinder, but he can really snap off the gate too. So it's going to give Mark a few options. He can see how things play out early on and work out the right kind of a trip.
All right, the gate is in motion. Time for race number 4, third leg of the NDC. Once again, we rejoin Sugar Doyle with the call. There you go.
Campbell, Sir Lucknow, Kelly Horse. Are you ready for a good time? Keith Legg, trailing spot, Arts Alive, Tyler Borth, an 1/8 of a mile from the start. Picking up speed. Here they come. And away they go. First 2 show. Giesbrecht sending another one out. It's Jitterbug Flip quickly to the top. His best shot at a victory is to cut this one out. It's Jitterbug Flip leading, challenged early here on the outside by Lord Anthony and Nick Boyd, pointing this one forward now. Lord Anthony, whoa, it's been a long time since Lord Anthony has seen a front-end mission in Ontario. He's going to get one today in the NDC. Nick Boyd sending Lord Anthony on out of there, 28-1. Opened it up. Jitterbug Flip and Giesbrecht second. Traveling in third, Scottish Bruiser for Jody. Then in the 4th spot, it's Brasseau with Zippin and Rippin, who's peeking to the outside. Looking to get underway, Teen Tatler for Campbell. Going up third to last on the outside now. Travels Sir Lucknow and Kelly Hort to the inside. Arts Alive and Borth, and struggling. Are you ready for a good time? And Legg trails this field. Lord Anthony led them through the half in 57-1. Says, catch me if you can, as they bend on to the 5/8. Lord Anthony and Nick Boyd, second best for Jitterbug Flip and Giesbrecht. Now uncovered and moving up. Brasseau puts another one in play. This is Zippin and Rippin trying to go on in here. 3 wide on the outside of the backfield. There goes Teen Tatler. Mark Campbell lights a fire under this one at 3/4. Hit me. 1:27-4. Teen Tatler takes the show on to the final turn. It's Team Tatler by a length and a half, make it 2. Lord Anthony fighting on for second against Zippin and Rippin. They make the swing, and it's Team Tatler, Mark Campbell leading. Lord Anthony, Nick Boyd clinging second. Zippin and Rippin for Brosseau. Wide side, late for Hort and Surlock now. It'll be Team Tatler and Campbell for a victory. Second best for Boyd with Lord Anthony. It got close for third. 157 and 3. Team Tatler picks up the pieces late.
Team Tatler is going to take race number 4, third leg of the NDC. We talked about this horse, and Mark Campbell getting into the bike today and having a chance maybe to get this guy back into the winner's circle, and he does just that. A big effort, and you said it there, Greg. You thought this horse could show this today.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised at all. It worked out a beautiful second over trip, and I've seen this horse win right on the front end. I've seen him win a lot of times grinding first over. So, got the benefit of a little bit of cover to follow today, and boy, did he respond and broke out with the win here. And this will be a tremendously popular win. This is a hometown victory here. The McClure family based right here at Clinton. This is where they stable their horses. And I can tell you, there's going to be some celebrating up at the barn afterwards this afternoon. That would be such a special win for them to get it done on a day like this.
So it looked like Nick Boyd was second, and then it was tight for third. Kelly Hort on the outside, I think, is going to get that over Stéphane Brosseau. And that's going to keep things wide open here, I think, in terms of the leaderboard. So 3 races in, 3 different winners. Kelly Hort with a top 4 finish. We were remarking that he kind of quietly got himself into a good position after 2 races. And again, it just goes back to what you said. I know we sound like a broken record, James, but you just got to chip away and just keep finding yourself in the top half of these finishes.
Yeah, and the biggest thing I always find is you always want to win, but the big thing is you got to win one. Right. Because if you win one, you feel like, well, you know what, I had a good run. I was in the hunt for a bit or whatever. I know I've raced in them where I've not won, and it's not a lot of fun. But when you win one, no matter how it ends up, you feel like you've done well. The people that had a lot of points there, I don't think got much, and the people that didn't have a lot of points got a lot. So this is going to really tighten the leaderboard up.
Good look at the finish as they came to the wire, and to no surprise, there's going to be some action-packed and competitive races all day long. So there's Mark Campbell, Team Tatler making their way back to the winner's circle. We will react more to what we've just seen when we come back. Primetime racing at the 2026 NDC rolls on. All right, welcome back. Primetime Racing's coverage of the 2026 NDC continuing. And as we mentioned, we were going to get a chance when we came back to meet the horses for race number 5 as they come out onto the track. And Jody Jamieson again with another rail starting spot. So unlike some driver challenges, James, you were talking about the fact that they usually let every driver have one go from each post. With this draft format, you were just taking the horse. It kind of depends where you landed, obviously, and what selection you had. But if you're Jody, maybe this was one of those races where he, depending what pick he had, he said, my best chance is just take the one from the rail.
Yeah, absolutely. I much prefer this format than the post one, because sometimes your best horse is your 7-hole and you're in trouble already, or you get the rail and it's a 90-1 shot. So this is kind of, it's on you to do your homework, make sure you know the horses, and then have a good strategy. When I went to Australia, they had a similar strategy. It was a draft, but you could draft from any. You didn't do one race at a time. You could draft from anyone on the 2 cards, and you had your picks. But my guys were pretty adamant about taking the inside, and if you can just get points, 1 and 9, and I was trying to persuade them, maybe just to try and take the best horse in every race, or as good as we can get, and I think that's important. But everyone's got their own strategy, and one way might not be better than the rest.
Well, your strategies have generally worked pretty well, I'm going to say, in these type of competitions. Speaking of strategies, Greg, looking at the field for this upcoming 5th race, who should we be keeping an eye on? Who could find themselves in the winner's circle?
Well, again, this is sort of counterintuitive. Typically, we like to go to inside posts on a half-mile track. Here at Clinton, if you've got horses with gate speed and you're out in the 5, 6, 7 starting spots, it's not the disadvantage it is at some other half-mile tracks. And I see that a little bit in this race. I think both the 5, 6, and 7 all have the ability to win this race, and they've all got tactical speed and drivers that can get them off the gate on the right foot. So I'm going to look toward the outside. I like number 6, Beach Wash. I know James has gone with 7, Wicked Smile, and Tyler Borth really needs a win. He needs a big result here at this point. This is probably the horse that can do it. I guess the question is, going back inside, is can Jody encourage a better result from the Lies Will Tell? He's likely going to be able to get him up near the front, but when I look at the bottom couple of lines, when he's had inside posts and has been up on or near the lead, he's faltered badly late. I'll maybe throw this to James. With a horse like that, what would be your mindset?
Basically pray. I mean, sometimes you look at that, and I think the way you got to look at it, if you're Jody Jamieson, is I always say, when you step foot on the track, you have to be polite, get along with everyone, but when you step foot on the track, you have to believe every horse is going to be better for you. And I think that's the mentality Jody's had his whole career, and it doesn't matter if he's picking them up from Dexter Dunn or who it is, but when he goes on the track, he thinks he's going to win. He expects the horse to be great because of him. The only thing that scares me with what you mentioned earlier, Greg, with this 5, 6, 7 post, is it's always harder to leave when the horse right beside you is leaving. So if you have 7 and the 5, 6 are ducking, you can get a jump on them and cross right over. But if you have 7 and the 5 and 6 also get away well, it's just so hard to get all the way around them. So it's this race is tactically going to be very interesting because, like you said, in my opinion, and I think you would agree, most of the better on paper horses have the outside posts.
Now, if this is a typical Sunday here at Clinton, you can probably go into that race, look at the field, and have a pretty good idea of what everyone's going to do. But in this case, how unpredictable are these races? Again, just driving against guys you don't race again day in and day out, and knowing what's on the line.
Well, I think it's pretty clear Nick Boyd's come today with the attitude, I'm going to send some horses, because he's been aggressive early and often, and he's got the 3-hole, and I don't suspect he's going to change his tactics. But you don't know. I think it's just a case of you line up behind the gate, you get your horses feeling as good as he can feel, and then you make a judgment call as the gate opens. Sometimes the horses make that for you, and a lot of times you try and force it maybe when it's not there too. So these guys got to be razor sharp and make quick decisions in the blink of an eye.
Kelly Hort, we got to give him some love. He's got himself in a tie for first place here. Hasn't won a race yet, but he's just picking up the points the way that you'd like to see. Second tier starting spot. Greg, what do you think here of Little Moments?
Yeah, definitely has a chance. Just what kind of a trip is he going to work out. The horse is 0 for 11 this year. A lot better than that record would indicate, though. 7 top 3 finishes in those 11 starts. So always knocking at the door. And if Kelly can click with him today, maybe a chance to break out of that winless skid. Interesting, just a quick point, James, you mentioned Nick Boyd being aggressive today. He's not generally considered an overly aggressive driver, so obviously had a game plan coming in, and he's trying to execute it, Mark.
All right, let's see what happens here. The 5th race, gate in motion. It's a field of 8 on the pace, and they are lined up.
Nick Boyd, RJ Jean, Mark Campbell, Play at Your Own Risk, Keith Legg, Beach Wash, Stefan Brasseau, A Wicked Smile, Todd Aborth, back to your spot, Little Moments, Kelly Hort, picking up speed. Here they come. They're off. Play at Your Own Risk to take them on out of there along the inside. This Freight Train and Nick Boyd wants another spot up close. 3 high, they barrel into that opening turn. Farthest out, Beach Wash for Stefan Brasseau keeps on coming up against it here with Play at Your Own Risk and Keith Legg. It's these two together. Battle on to the opening quarter. Keith Legg has settled the early issue. He takes control clearly with Play at Your Own Risk, reaching the quarter in 28 flat, depositing Stefan Brasseau and Beach Wash in for the 2-hole ride. Viz Freight Train, Nick Boyd sitting third from the outside gate to be 4. Todd Aborth with A Wicked Smile. A peek to the outside in 5th is The Lies We Tell for Jody Jamieson. That flushes out Tyler with Wicked Smile to travel first up as they begin to pair up on this half-mile approach. Keith Legg takes a peek over his shoulder. Nothing close. Drive on, Keith, with the Play at Your Own Risk. Outside challenging now for the deuce. Wicked Smile and Borth. Third and in, Beach Wash for Brasseau. A toe up in 4th for Jody with The Lies We Tell. Now buried in 5th. Nick Boyd with Viz Freight Train setting it up 3rd over. We've got Kelly Hort with Little Moments. Next to last, buried along the inside, RJ Jean for Mark Campbell. Trailing was All-Star Bruiser Phil Giesbrecht. Letting it out a notch up top. Play at Your Own Risk for Keith Legg. Still coming on the outside. Todd Aborth rousing up Wicked Smile at 3/4, 127 and 4. Check out Kelly Hort knifing on through with Little Moments now in play. She's going to save ground, bending around this final turn. It appears to be coming down to the front 4. It's Play at Your Own Risk for Legg, still selling it, trying to buy it. Wicked Smile, Todd Aborth. It's the wide side, for The Lies We Tell. Jody Jamieson up the inside. Kelly Hort, Little Moments. Kelly gets there. Wow, what a slick steer. We picked him up at 3/4, knifing on through, and he saved ground to get up late. Little Moments, and Kelly Hort strikes in 1:57 and 3.
Kelly Hort is having a fantastic afternoon. He was already in a tie for first going into that race, and now he is a clear at the top as he picks up the win. Up the rail here, down the lane, some tight quarters as they were battling for home. We take a look at the replay. Watch Keith Legg and Tyler Borth here. Looks like they locked wheels briefly there, and the rail was open as Kelly Hort, what an afternoon he's having.
That was, like Greg mentioned, spectacular drive. He had that horse, he looked like he's flipping 3 wide. We're like, here he comes, then dove to the inside, and just when they hooked up, that's all he needed. He needed just a tiny little break, and he got some daylight and got the job done. That was all-world drive right there.
We'll talk more about that drive in a second here, but Greg, you remarked about Keith Legg putting one in play here. He wasn't scared of the moment.
No, at the quarter, he could have maybe got a little bit intimidated and decided to try and release the other horse to the lead, but he said no, he wanted to cut it, and the horse lasted on the lead and took him a long way. Kelly, I mean, just that split-second decision, James, as a driver, you've got to make it quickly, and he made the right one.
All right, we got more on that race in just a moment. We'll take a brief timeout and come back to Clinton for the NDC. And we're back to Clinton Raceway. A great aerial shot on Legends Day and National Driving Championship Day. Kelly Hort, the man of the hour so far as we move through this competition. Still plenty of racing to go, but he's got himself atop the leaderboard. Picks up the win with little moments. A second-tier starting spot, no problem. A crafty drive up the rail to win it. 8-5-1-7 is your unofficial top four as we wait for the results. Keith Legg getting a second-place finish there as this is the one thing about these competitions, James, is that there's no love loss out there, and there's going to be a lot of racing going on. And I know it's an old NASCAR saying, rubbin's racing, but we've had a little bit of that already so far today.
Yeah, and you know, it happens in every one of these. And like Greg touched on about Keith being aggressive, like I'm assuming this maybe was his first pick. So sometimes that'll up your aggression too. You're like, you put all your eggs in one basket, and you gotta make hay while the sun shines. And I think he heard someone coming on the outside, and he said, you better pack a lunch because it's going to be a long day out there.
We're going to take a look at the prices in just a moment as we'll flip those up on the screen. Little Moments, a $36 winner. But if you wanted to just play the hot hand, well, Kelly Hort, I guess you could say he was knocking at the door for a win with the results he was putting up, and he does break through. So a $36 winner, as mentioned. Runner up there, Keith Legg, $420 to place, $280. And then the lies we tell, Jody Jamieson does finish third. Tyler Borth has to settle for a fourth. So with that, we have the updated leaderboard to take a look at. We know Kelly Hort is going to be at the top. It's Kelly Hort, Jody Jamieson, Stefan Brazeau, your top three, but it's now a 9-point lead for Kelly Hort over Jody Jamieson. Stefan Brazeau is going to be double digits back. We go to Mark Campbell, Keith Legg, Tyler Borth, Phil Giesbrecht, and Nick Boyd rounding things out. At what point in the competition, James, do you start to look at those standings and go, and panic, I guess, if you're near the bottom? At what point does that click in? Because one or two races in, there's still a lot of racing to go, but with each passing race, time's ticking.
You worry about it every race. I mean, if you have a bad race, it's hard not to dwell on it, but you got to turn the page quick, and Jody did a great job there. We talked about it, the rail horse. Greg said, you know, when he been getting away close, he hasn't been finishing well, and Jody was patient, got him in a good spot, second over toe, didn't panic. And then when they hooked up a little bit down the lane, he just got his nose ahead for a big 3 points. And those will play big late because Jody's not a guy you want looming in the bushes. You want to have him out of it early and have a big lead. And he's not a guy you want close to him because he knows how to win races.
Some great racing so far, and to no surprise, Greg, I'm sure last night the mood at the dinner was probably pretty joyful and pretty light, but you knew the game faces were going to be on coming into today.
Absolutely, and I'm loving it. They're putting on a show out there. You know, having these 3, 4, 5 across finishes, fantastic. And, you know, I'll give James some credit in the handicapping department. Yeah. Just before the race went, he identified little moments, and, you know, he said, this is a stone-cold closer. And, you know, the way this race shapes up on paper could set up perfectly for him. And wouldn't you know it, didn't quite go the way we thought on the last turn. We thought he might just keep rolling 3-4 wide, but made that gamble move to the inside, saved ground, and, you know, had to get a little bit lucky that the seam opened up, but when it did, the horse shot through one easily.
Well, a little earlier in the broadcast, we alluded to James's success in New Zealand, winning the World Driving Championship in November. Let's talk about that experience. What was New Zealand like, and compared to your past experiences at the Worlds, obviously here on home soil, and you'd been to Sweden as well?
It was amazing. Like, we're so lucky to get these competitions and travel the world and do something we love and get to see beautiful countries. I've been lucky to go to Sweden, now New Zealand. I've raced in Australia, but you know, we went over there. I'd won in Canada, then I got absolutely destroyed in Sweden. So I kind of felt like I had something to prove, that it wasn't just a, you know, lucky home field advantage, and got it done there. So I got off to a good start and traveled a beautiful country, had some luck, met some new people, some friends, you know, I'll keep for the rest of my life, and just that's what it's all about. It's always better when you have success, but at the same time, you can't. You got to enjoy the moment while you're in it.
What were the tracks like there? I know one night I tuned in, and there's all these campers and vehicles in the infield, and then they go to a wide shot, and it looked like you were basically racing on top of the ocean. There must have been some pretty unique settings there.
Some of the views, that race, that track was unbelievable. You go up the backside and it was this glowing ocean, and like you said, the RVs, it gave you a lot of like a Little Brown Jug feel, and it's a 2-day meet for the season, and it's just for that, not just for the driver challenge, but every year it's incredible, and the crowds were huge, the racing was amazing, the tracks itself. That track was beautiful. There were others when we traveled the country were just as picturesque as you could see the mountains in the background and houses up in the hill. It was something I'll cherish forever, and really happy I got to do it, and hopefully can do it a few more times.
Well, I think about with the upcoming Worlds here in Canada, the opportunity that it's not a case of, okay, we're just going to one track. We're going from Alberta to Ontario, Quebec, out to PEI. So, Greg, I think it's going to be great just to show our nation, right, to some that maybe have never been and to get to see all parts. I think sometimes we're a victim if you don't do enough traveling of just seeing how great your country really is coast to coast.
Yeah, there's a lot of Canadian pride, and especially right now with, the way the world is. And, so I think, that inner pride starting to show more and more, and I know everybody will be very happy to show off their part of the country and their jurisdiction and their fantastic racetracks, and none more so than Charlottetown, where we'll wrap up. But you're going to get to experience everything, right? Western Canada, that beautiful part of the world out there, and then a totally different feel when you come to Ontario and Quebec, and some of that East Coast hospitality to cap it off. And I know, James, I wanted to ask you on that note, you've won most of the big races there is in the sport now. You've got the bucket list, but one of them I'm sure that's right at the top is the Gold Cup and Saucer right at home.
How did I know you were going to ask about that?
Now you're in that strange position where you're in such demand, it's hard to work it into your schedule to get a shot at it. But I know it's in the back of your mind. I'm sure it's there and it's something you want to do.
Oh, it's right at the top of the bucket list. I mean, it's a race I've been fortunate to be in quite a few times and been close, and then I have 2 seconds in it, which haunt me at night sometimes. But
two brothers that have already won it.
Yeah, and I've won an awful lot of the trials the last few years, but I just haven't been able to go for the finals, and this year, unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be more of the same. But I swore, I can't remember the year. Maybe it was the year. Anyway, I sat in the driver's room at Mohawk. I didn't go for the week. I watched the race, and it was just about as sad as I've ever been, as homesick as I've been since I left. I didn't get to go home, see my family, see my friends, and I swore that day I would never miss another one, and I've been true to my word so far. It's been 5 or 6 years straight I've got down, and just get down middle of the week, go a couple days, get to see family, and just enjoy Old Home Week.
It is certainly one of the best weeks. I'm excited. I'm going to experience it for the first time this summer. Can't wait. More with the NDC when we come back. And we're back here on Primetime Racing as you see the horses leaving the paddock for race number 6. As we continue on with the National Driving Championship, this is going to be our final race before the Legends Day Trot, and that's always a lot of fun as we're going to get to see some of the greats of the sport in action as the horses start to leave the paddock here for race number 6. Let's go to an interview conducted just a few moments ago as Jamie had an opportunity to chat with Keith Legg and Mark Campbell.
Our Atlantic Division drivers join us now, Mark and Keith. And Mark, I'll start with you. I know you've said before you don't really want to be on the legacy end of this, but you have so much experience, especially around a half mile and in these big competitions. What have the festivities been like so far?
It's been great. You know, everybody here has treated us fantastic, and it's been a really good time so far.
And on a personal note, your wife joins you this weekend. How nice it is just to get away with her once in a while, too.
It is. I mean, we got a busy schedule at home, too, with the kids and the horses and everything else. So a couple days away is going to be, it's nice.
And they mentioned this isn't the first time. I mean, for both of you, they mentioned that the final of the Worlds will be Old Home Week at the Gold Cup and Saucer Week. How fantastic. You've witnessed that before when James won. And how great is it to end there?
Yeah, I think it's just, you know, top off the whole Old Home Week, and you know, it's the pinnacle of harness racing. I think one of them down there on a half-mile track for Canada, and so top it off there and end it there would be pretty cool.
And it's so exciting to see kind of an up-and-comer driver in this type of competition. Keith, you're kind of new to the circuit the last few years. How has it been for you?
Oh, it's been a ride. I can't even really put it into words right now to be standing here doing these interviews and taking in this weekend. It's my 4th year driving, and I'm literally just taking it all in as much as I can.
Now, have you snuck in anyone's autograph today?
Oh, yeah. We were all signing autographs there earlier.
Did you get somebody's autograph? One of the legends?
Oh, no, not yet. Wally came up to me last night. We were having a couple cocktails, and that's a moment I'll never forget. And just being in the same room as him and John Campbell and Bill O'Donnell and all them guys, it's certainly a night I'm going to remember for the rest of my life.
We're so excited to have you join us here at Clinton Raceway. And of course, Standard Canada is excited to have everybody across Canada, these top drivers, join us. Good luck for the rest of the afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Jamie, and good to hear from Keith and Mark. You can tell they're really enjoying this entire weekend and the experience, and now they're back out on the track as we take a look at the post-parade for race number 6 and getting a peek at the horses as they've been going through their final preparations. And I look at the field of 8 here, and right away we got to see what's Kelly Hort got, because he is our current leader, and once again, it's to the second tier, Greg. So has he got a little more 8-hole magic in him?
Well, he's going to need it, I think, this time. Azucar Jack, here's a horse that I've watched race over the course of his career. He's more of a need-the-lead type, or traditionally has been. So we'll see. But I don't think on paper it's an ideal setup for him. But, hey, the way Kelly's going today, you just never know.
James, looking at the field here, you're familiar with a few of these horses. Who's catching your eye?
There's a few closers on the outside that interest me, 6 and 7. I'm a little worried. Big favorite, No Plan Intended, who looks very competitive. He's won 3 in a row, won by 4 lengths. He is moving up in class. The only thing that concerns me is there's a speed horse inside of him that Nick Boyd's driving, and we touched on it last time. He's been ultra aggressive today, and I think, like Greg said, he's came today with the attitude, I want to put some in play. I'm going to get my name called, and I'm going to try and get in this thing. And now he's kind of dug a bit of a hole for himself, and he needs to find a way out of it. And I don't think being less aggressive is probably the option now. So we might see a little mix-up here where there could be another off-the-pace winner. But it's cat and mouse out there. Jody's not going to get fooled by anyone. So we're just going to have to wait and see what transpires.
Could be a pretty hot opening quarter in this race if that does materialize, as you get a look there at Jody on the screen, Keith Legg as well. Keith's got a rail starter here, a horse that, again, probably going to need a little bit of help here, but it's got the right starting spot to at least get himself spotted okay.
A nice old horse. He's a grinder, and it gives you the same effort week in, week out, and it just kind of depends how the race goes for him. But if he falls into a good trip from post 1, definitely an opportunity. No Plan Intended. Yeah, I don't think there's any mystery as to what you're going to see from him and Bluebird Recon, and it's just going to be who's got the quickest punch, I guess, getting into the first turn. But at this point, for a guy like Nick, you mentioned it earlier, James, you don't one thing you don't want to have happen when you come to a competition like this is to get shut out. So even if you're down near the bottom, and as the competition unfolds, you're getting even that much hungrier to get a win. So when you have an opportunity here, Nick is going to want to try and, I think, seize control and win. This is a newcomer to our circuit. He came up from Ohio 4 starts back, and he's been pretty close to going undefeated in 4. He's had 3 wins and a third. He's been very good. So from this post and with his gate speed, he'll be the horse to beat.
What about the fact, I'm looking at the number 5 Chief of Staff, last time out, a winner rate here at Clinton. That opening quarter, 27-2. How much do you got to be going to go a 27-2 opening quarter here?
You get your bike sliding pretty good in the first turn heading out. I was trying to explain Clinton to some of the drivers yesterday, and I was kind of explaining it in like a buffalo kind of way, where it's you can almost take the head pull off the inside because the horses are going so fast. They're running out in the turn, and it's a different track, and it's 27-2 is going to get you to lead most times here, and we might be looking at a 27-2 in this one because there's a lot of speed horses, a lot of people picking up horses from our man Brady Galliers today in this program, who's been doing well here, and let's just see what happens. I'm excited. This is one of the more wide open races on the card, and Tyler Borth is got to get going here, and I think he's feeling the pressure, and he's a guy that's really good in these competitions, and I think he's sitting on a win. So maybe he upsets in here, but there's going to be some fireworks.
And that's what we're hoping for as the gate's starting to move into position. Could see a good shootout here in race number 6 as the horses and drivers will take their positions. Another National Driving Championship leg as we turn it back over to Sugar Doyle.
Here we go. We got the mini drivers up from the Maritimes. They're on board for a race call, race number 6 of 10. Lucas wants a shout out for Greg at his Grampy Miles. 1/8 of a mile from the start. It's the National Driving Championship at Clinton Raceway continuing. They're at the top of the stretch. Picking up speed. Here they come. Off and pacing. No plan intended. And Jody hits the top just like that. Bluebird Recon along the inside to get away in second. That with Nick Boyd traveling into third. That is Hasselhoff. Mark Campbell didn't even look at the 3-hole. He drove on. Mark Campbell sending up Hasselhoff, moving into second, takes control just prior to this opening quarter mile. Mark Campbell settling in to the lead with Hasselhoff, though it could be give, it could be go. It ain't. Hasselhoff driving on here for Campbell. 27-2 bullet. Opening quarter put up by Hasselhoff here. Second best. We've got no plan intended. And Jody moving to the outside on third. There goes Bluebird Recon and Nick Boyd offering up the first up pressure just prior to the half. It'll be a toe up for the 5. Chief of Staff Tyler Borth now in play. Buried 5th. Kevin and Foster's Keith Lag setting it up third over Brasseau with Jules Diamond Eyes. Next to last travels Azucar Jack Kelly Hort trailing the field. Ace 44 Jack and Giesbrecht. So they get over to the half in 57-3, and Mark Campbell still leading, though that lead it's down to just ahead. Hasselhoff will try to hold off the first up attacker, Bluebird Recon and Nick Boyd. 3 wide on the outside. There goes Chief of Staff and Tyler Borth unleashing this one up and by 3/4. 127-4. Chief of Staff, the post-parade pick. He's now showing the way into the final turn. Chief of Staff and Tyler Borth moving up quickly on the outside. Now taking second. Here's Jody coming back with no plan intended. Third and in for Bluebird Recon. Nick Boyd through the stretch into the mile. Jody Jamieson on the outside doubles up at the NDC with no plan intended. Chief of Staff was second. Ace 44 Jack from last to be third for Giesbrecht in 1:57-2.
Well, it's Legends Day, and that's why Jody Jamieson, you can put him in the class of a legend. What a drive there. I'm not going to lie. I thought it did not look very good for them as they made their way towards the 3/4 pole, but Jody does the stick handling and just finds a way. James, that was pretty impressive.
That was classic Jody Jamieson right there. He was in a bad spot, but just that's what experience does. Mark Campbell put him in a bad position where he couldn't park him, or neither one of them were going to get anything, and he snatched up right away. I thought he was going to have to leave him out. Snatched up right away, let him go, and then just stick handled his way out, getting into the last turn, and the horse just responded. He flew home for a horse that's been racing an awful lot in the front. Great effort there by no plan intended, and just all-world drive by Jody.
Very impressive performance there. Horse and driver, both of them doing their job in this case. Tyler Borth will finish second, and then Phil Giesbrecht was third. Mark Campbell rounds out the top four here, and we expected fireworks, and Greg, they got to the quarter in 27-2. We said
you called it.
That's they're going to be smoking out of there, and it was Hasselhoff who drove on to the top, and the aggressive steers are no surprise as guys are trying to make up some ground.
Yeah, that's what I didn't see happening. I certainly expected to see the 2 and the 4 out tussling early, but I didn't expect to see another one looping them before the quarter, as you said, and it was again, a split-second decision by Jody not to get in any kind of a speed duel. And if there's a horse that could handle that, getting into a battle up front and just keep going, it is no plan intended. He's a 46-time career winner. He is such a classy individual. And, today he does it with a different dimension. He sat in and gets through between horses and comes from off the pace to win rather than winning with his patented front-end style. Such a nice horse.
Well, this wily old veteran, no plan intended, is going to get a nice walk by the fans as Jody Jamieson brings Jamieson Lane to Clinton. I think the fist pump is probably the best thing going right now in racing, James.
We might see one yet here, Mark. I wouldn't rule it out. Although the fans are pretty close, and he might not need it, but he said, yeah, it was fun out there on the track, and it's great to see. The fans love him. Pretty much everyone loves Jody. He's a pretty easy guy to like, and it's hard not to cheer for, and that was great drive.
Double J going back to the winner's circle, his second win of the National Driving Championship so far. There it is. We got
right
the fist
cue.
bump. There it was. You knew it was coming. Somebody might have ordered that up right on the fence. More reaction from race number 6, and we'll start to preview the Legends Day Trot, which is coming up next when we return here on Prime Time Racing. And we are back. Scenic Clinton Raceway. Primetime Racing's coverage of the 2026 National Driving Championship. Jody Jamieson with the W in the most recent race. With that, 2 wins on the afternoon. Gets himself in a good position as we'll take a look at the updated standings in just a moment. James and Greg, Mark with you. James going to be with us for one more race before he'll have to depart, as he's back in action tonight at Woodbine Mohawk Park. But the next race coming up, and it'll be great to have James with us for this one, is the Legends Day Trot. And gentlemen that you've raced against, and you talk about those generations going from one to the next, and I really think you look at the current driving colony at Woodbine Mohawk Park, and there's several of you that had your chance to cut your teeth coming up against some of these gentlemen, some real good people to look up to.
Oh yeah, like you could take a lot from these guys that I started with. I think mostly when I started at Mohawk, it was still Safdie, Condren, Mac, Greek. Those guys were, in every race, and got to watch them and like I said earlier, see the way they conduct themselves, and it was a good learning experience for me. I've driven for Blair Burgess and Carl Jamieson, raced against them both a little bit. Doug Brown I started driving with in Kawartha, and I remember my first grassroots driving win was for catch drive, was for Doug Brown, and I remember just thinking, first off, I didn't even think he liked me, and he because he was tough to race against, but he put me on his filly in the grassroots and we won, and I'll never forget it. He called me in the paddock at Georgian. He called the paddock to get a hold of me and talk to me and congratulate me, and I thought that was pretty cool coming from what always was a legend, but now we get to see him on Legends Day.
Going to be a lot of fun to watch the legends of the sport come out onto the track for our next race, the Legends Day Trot. One of them, who is about to be enshrined in the Canadian Horse Racing Hall of Fame in just a few weeks, is Mike Safdie. Jamie caught up with him.
Mike Safdie joins us now. And Mike, just being a part of Legends Day, how exciting is this for you?
It's been a good couple days. We were here yesterday for the pony races, and we all kind of stayed at the same hotel. It's been a real good event. Standard Canada did a great job introducing the guys. It was nice and light. It was nice being part of it.
And speaking of yesterday, your granddaughter was a part of the Junior National Driving Championship. How exciting and just fun is that?
Yeah, well, it's fun. Cute little blonde hair outside the helmet. We're in Adidas colors. So, yeah, it was good. It was nice watching.
And, of course, on to you, some exciting stuff coming up this year. In being inducted into the Hall of Fame for harness racing, just kind of what is that like for you? Did it make you reflect on your career?
100%. You look back right from the beginning, and you've seen how many people helped you out. How long it took you to get there. And I still don't feel like I am worthy, but we'll see on August 12th. And I'm not looking forward to that speech, but we'll take it from there.
And of course, the family is out this weekend, like you had said. When was the last time the family was all at the track together, watching you drive?
Yeah, it's right. And I was kind of at the end of my career when the first grandkids come and they got their picture taken, but these new ones haven't. So this might be my last shot.
Well, thank you for joining us here on Legends Day. I mean, what a crew we have, both on and off the track, signing autographs for the legends. And looking back, maybe when you started, when you were a little bit younger, was there someone that you really looked up to driving?
I looked up to all the top guys. Like, when I got to the Jockey Club, it was Steve Condren and Doug Brown, and they're in this race. But they're the guys you watched, followed on the track, and, you just learned with the experience, and here we all are.
A little older, a little grayer, but still the same passion in all of your hearts. So thank you for joining us here on Legends Day, and have fun.
A little grayer? I guess. Thanks, Jamie.
All right. Always good to catch up with Mike Safdie. He's having a lot of fun and should be enjoying not just a day like today, but the next few weeks with the Hall of Fame ceremony coming up. Let's take a look at the prices from our most recent race. It was race number 6. Jody Jamieson got the win. We'll get to those in a little bit, but let's go first to the standings. The standings for the National Driving Championship. And gentlemen, we were kind of scratching our head early on about Kelly Horton, the total they had for him, but it looks like we've got those prices maybe, or I should say standings and those points adjusted, because Jody Jamieson, to no surprise, is now out to the lead. He's got 45 points. Tyler Bohr second at 31. Kelly Hort has 29. So we were informed there was just a miscalculation earlier on in the day. It is accurate and up to date now, and Jody Jamieson has found himself with a lead of 14 points on Tyler Bohr. Kelly Hort still in that top 3 position. Stefan Brosseau right there in the mix with him as well, and Mark Campbell. So very tight after you get past the top spot there, but Jody Jamieson's put himself in the driver's seat right now.
Yeah, it's great to see second place 31 points, and then you go down to seventh place 25 points. So 6 points separating a really good group of drivers, and Jody's in the driver's seat now. Just to no one's surprise, he's off to a good start, and Tyler Bohr nipping at his heels. So it's going to be a great finish. I'll be tuning in for my car on the way home for sure.
3 races to go in the competition. They get a little break here, Greg, and I wonder if that's sort of a reset for these fellas now to sort of reevaluate what they got left.
I would think so, exactly. You know, it's good to get a little break, and for a guy like Jody, he'll probably want to look at the last 3 races, just kind of map out a little bit of a game plan on how he wants to approach it, because he doesn't want to do anything to squander this advantage. He's got himself in a great spot. He will be awfully tough to catch, no matter what his lineup looks like from here. You just know with his experience, it's going to be hard. And the other guys, on the other hand, especially the ones that have been shut out so far, they're going to be awful hungry to come back with at least 1 win.
I do want to talk about the Jamiesons for a moment, as this has been a special weekend for them. First, Greg, you talked to Jody last night at the dinner. He's got his father, Carl, in the Legends Day race, and his daughter was a part of the Junior National Driving Championship yesterday, so this is a special weekend for them.
Yeah, for sure. And Jet, his son, was there as well. I think he's graduated, I believe, from the junior driving program at this point, and to have Carl there, and Jody's sister Brandy, and his mom there as well, the whole family enjoying the weekend and the experience. And you know, for the kids especially, they'll never forget a weekend like this.
Talk a bit about the Jamiesons, and I know you see them on a day-to-day basis. A lot of people might not realize just how hands-on Jody is these days in terms of the stable and just the work they're putting in behind the scenes, running their own barn.
Yeah, they're busy, and there's no secret to their success. I mean, that's hard work. You know, Jody's. I go in and do Hasty every day with Paige and with Anthony's crew, and you see Jody there every day, or pretty much every day, and it's great to see Carl and Jody. And Carl doesn't love getting in the bike anymore, but I guarantee you, he might not love getting in the bike, but what he likes less is losing. So it's going to be a throwdown here. It wouldn't matter who was coming. So I've raced with Carl. There's no gimmies ever, and these guys got their hands full here on Legends Day.
They're leaving the paddock for the Legends Day trot. We'll have the post parade in a moment as the fans continue to file in here at Clinton Raceway, Greg.
There's the Gus bus on the backstretch, just pulling in. They're a little bit late, but here they are, and there'll be a load of new fans coming in for the rest of the afternoon. They're going to catch the last few races.
All right, we got the post parade here in just a moment for the Legends Day trot. As you get a good look at the horses and leaving the paddock here, this is a classy group of horses that they put together for this invitational. Horses you're familiar with as well, James.
Yeah, I've driven a few of these horses recently, actually, but raced against a lot of them if I haven't driven them. And it's a good bunch of horses with a good mix of speed and some versatility and some drivers with the obviously they're all legends, so they can do everything. They've all done everything. If I had to pick one, I really liked my buddy Sam. I drove him 2 starts back and was caught in, had lots of trot, came back, raced great for Anthony Hahn, and picked up one of the great all-time drivers, Steve Condren, especially tripping one out, can always get one home. And and loves to win as well. So it'll be fun to see Steve Condren back in the race bike.
Here's the field for the Legends Day trot. Number 1 is going to be Mercutio for Carl Jamieson, driving for Shane Arsenault. Gets the rail, was 4th in the Vic Hayter Memorial last time out here at Clinton. A classy 7-year-old veteran, and it's Carl Jamieson in the bike.
So Blair Burgess, a last-minute substitute for this event, and he's going to get to drive his own here in Supersonic Hanover, the Post 2 starter. He's the 8-5 morning line choice, coming in off 3 consecutive third-place finishes at Woodbine Mohawk Park. He's been racing very well there, individually trotting in 53 and change in all of those recent tries. So if that translates to the smaller track here this afternoon from post 2, he should be a major factor, and especially with the familiarity that Blair has with his own horse.
So there's a look at Supersonic Hanover. Blair Burgess, the trainer, doing the driving and associated with developing and campaigning a lot of talented horses over the year. Real Desire stands out. Glide Master, a Triple Crown champion. Tell All, so you got that connection with Jody Jamieson as he got his first North America Cup. So he's been to the pinnacle of the game. The next horse to meet will be number 3, My Retirement Dream. 5-year-old goes for Eli Wagler, and it's going to be Doug Brown doing the driving. He comes over from Grand River, having raced there in each of his last 4 starts, a couple of second-place finishes. This was a horse, James, I remember when he debuted, he had a lot of ability at a young age and really turned some heads.
Yeah, 434,000. He was a great 2-year-old and 3-year-old. Jody, I believe, drove him a lot. Scott Young drove him quite a bit. And just a really nice Il Sogno Dream, son of Il Sogno Dream. So should be in a good spot here today. And hopefully Doug Brown, downtown Dougie Brown with 7 O'Briens, he can definitely get one home.
How about Mike Saftick's drive here?
Yeah, PC Peterbilt. The only thing is he raced here last week at Clinton for the first time in the Vic Hayter Memorial, and he made a miscue. So interesting. They come right back with him this week. Melissa Lawyer, the owner and trainer, will get Mike Saftick, again, the new Hall of Famer.
We just saw the 5, My Buddy Sam, for Steve Condren, going for Jennifer Pinkerton, and as James talked about, some familiarity with this guy for him. There was the 6 as well, like Chaos. Paul McDonnell will do the driving for Bruce Richardson. Finished second in a dead heat in the Vic Hayter last time out. Chris Christoforou rounds things out. He's driving number 7, Timo Riggs. You see him on the screen right now. And for Chris Christoforou, it was a very recent return to the bike. Unfortunately got injured over the winter, but he was back in action last night, filling in for Jody Jamieson in some grassroots action at Hiawatha, and hey, no problem, just got back to the winner's circle a few times. Chris Christoforou, it's great to see him back in action.
Yeah, and speaking of legends and coming back, I wanted to ask James about this. Just the other day, Brian Sears, talk about legendary drivers, hadn't been in the race bike for 3 years, jumps up on one the other day and wins right at first asking. I mean, there's a guy now, I'm sure you drove against him a little bit. How good was he?
Oh, he's incredible. Brian Sears, one of my favorite drivers to watch all time. It just seemed like if there was a big race, Brian Sears was not only in it, but he was in the spot every driver wanted to be. He just one of the best to ever do it, if not the best to ever do it. It's great to see him back. I shot him a message the day he came back and just wished him good luck, and good to see him back. And I'm still waiting to get out for a golf match with him. They say he's not a bad golfer, and you maybe take some of that money from him if I could.
I'd like to see that matchup. Maybe we'll get into the golf streaming business here on Prime Time Racing. Prime Time Golf, you never know. But by all reports, talking to a few people, Brian's not committing to too much, but I'm hearing that his workload might be picking up over the next several days, as he might kind of get on the New York Sire Stakes circuit a little bit. How about the guys here racing? Steve Condren on your screen there right now with My Buddy Sam. Steve, he stays active as well. I had a good chat with him at the baby races, so even though he's not driving anymore, he's still really involved in helping develop young horses.
Yeah, he stays with Tony Beaton all year round, and he's amazing with the young horses. He always was an amazing driver with young horses, and now he helps develop them. So it's always great to have Steve there qualifying day with those babies, and he can give you a little insight. And from someone that's done it so many times, done it so successfully over the years. And these guys are all legends, but they also love the game. They're all still involved in some way, it's great to see them out here, and it's great for me to be around be around them and cheer them on. And I can't wait to watch this race.
Yeah, and what about the race here, Greg? Because we've been watching some wall-to-wall action in those NDC races. These guys here, I'm not sure how aggressive it is going to be, but who knows? Bragging rights are on the line, no doubt about it.
Yeah, you get surprised sometimes. Hopefully they won't be too aggressive. We want to see everybody just get the horses around that first turn safely, and then kind of go from there. Then their old instincts are going to kick in at that point. I think you'd have to give a slight advantage to 2 Supersonic Hanover because Blair Burgess, the trainer, knows the horse so well, and he'll be driving today. But he's got some work to do early.
He does, as the gate slowly making its way into the turn of Supersonic Hanover is going to come into your picture here in just a moment. Shannon Sugar Doyle, he's one of the biggest fans in the sport, so you know this is a thrill for him to call the Legends Day Trot. We're going to kick it up to him. He has the call.
For 7 across, an 1/8 of a mile from the start. These are the Legends. Here they come. They're off on a break at the beginning for number 6, Like Chaos, and Paul McDonnell. They're going to be trailing this one. Out for the lead, Blair Burgess with Super Sonic Hanover. That lead, though, might not last for too long. It's My Buddy Sam and Steve Condren sending this one forward, looking to take control, looking to take pylon position here as they straighten up to the opening quarter mile. Chris Christoforou, the audacity to right line from third. He's moving into second now as they approach the quarter mile. My Buddy Sam on the inside for Condren. Here's Christoforou showing up to challenge early with Time Riggs. Opening quarter was 29 seconds flat. Traveling in third, Supersonic Hanover for Blair Burgess, a midfield fourth. There's Jameson with Mercutio. Doug Brown getting underway now. Doug Brown sending up My Retirement Dream. Along the inside was PC Peterbilt for Saftik, and a gapped off trailer. That is Like Chaos for McDonnell. So these two have hooked up since the quarter mile. It is My Buddy Sam on the in for Condren, marching through a half of 58-1. Up on the outside, attacking is Time Riggs for Christoforou. Angled to the outside in third. Supersonic Hanover for Burgess. Got to be thinking about the 3 wide side. Into contention fourth. PC Peterbilt for Saftik now in play. Gapped in the 5th spot. Little steppy there for Brad as My Retirement Dream. Back markers. Mercutio for Jameson. Like Chaos, McDonnell. It's coming down to these 4, it appears, following 3 quarters. 1, 27-2. 3 high around the Red Barn turn. On the inside, it's My Buddy Sam still moving forward for Condren. Saftik is up on the 3 wide side, coming late with PC Peterbilt. My Buddy Sam and Condren, they find more. My Buddy Sam and Condren win the Legends Day Trot. BC Peterbilt, Mike Saftik for second. It was close for third. Christoforou with Time Riggs or Burgess with Supersonic Hanover. 157-2. The Legends Day Trot is complete.
Steve Condren, My Buddy Sam, wins the Legends Day Trot. And we thought maybe they might just kind of go around the fellas, but we got a little hard ball there, and Steve Condren wasn't going to mess around and goes on to the victory.
That was a highly, highly entertaining edition of the Legends Day Trot. And My Buddy Sam, we were sitting here with James, and James knows this horse well. He sat behind him, on a fairly regular basis, including a race 2 back at Mohawk. And he said if he makes the lead here, it should be lights out. And he was right, but he had to earn it. And, giving the fans a bit of a thrill there, Mike Saftik and PC Peterbilt with that big move on the last turn to make it interesting. Good race.
That was a great race, and that's what you wanted to see. They gave the fans a show, and My Buddy Sam heads to the winner's circle, victorious in the Legends Day Trot. We'll take a brief timeout when we come back. We'll check out the winner's circle from the Legends Day Trot. My Buddy Sam, victorious for the Hall of Famer, Steve Condren. We bring you back to Clinton Raceway. The Legends Day Trot goes to my buddy Sam and Steve Condren. They're victorious, and they're coming back to a very happy winner's circle. Going to be a big crowd out there as they enjoy this victory. And for Steve Condren, as we were talking about with James before he had to depart, Steve staying involved in developing young horses, working with trainer Tony Beaton, and you can tell still has that love for it. So I'm sure every 2 years when he gets the call for the Legends Day Trot, it's probably a pretty quick answer to say absolutely.
Yeah, and easier too, that the fact he's been sitting up behind horses on a regular basis, training all winter and going, those kind of miles. So he's got that familiarity, if you want to say that, and when he comes back and getting a huge round of applause, which is nice to see. These guys, when they get back into the race bike, even if it's for a day, even if it's for just one race, it brings memories flooding back for these longtime fans, and that's what we have en masse here today. Our lifelong fans that have come out, and this day means a lot to them, and getting to meet these guys, get their autograph earlier in the day, and then watch them compete one more time. And for Steve, I mean, it would have to be a lot of fun and bring back that old feeling of being back in the winner's circle, something he'd experienced so many times in his amazing career.
How many times does a driver tell you that you can't replicate that feeling of winning a race? And for Steve Condren, he gets to do it once again for career win 6,860. So there you go. Over 6,800 wins, 114 million in career earnings, the Hall of Famer Steve Condren. I followed him up the road here today driving to Clinton. I saw there was a license plate said Milton. I thought, those folks look like they're heading towards Clinton. Followed him all the way here. Fast on the track, fast off the track as well, but we got here in one piece, and glad that he was able to be a part of today's festivities. And of course, when it comes to the Legends Day Trot and Legends Day in a whole, we have to talk about the great work by the entire crew here at Clinton, led by Ian Fleming. I know that this event means an awful lot to them. They do it every 2 years. And once again, another spectacular day, a job well done.
Yeah, Ian Fleming, a Hall of Famer himself, and longtime race secretary for tracks across Ontario. He's been the GM here for a number of years, former GM in London as well. One of the most highly respected guys in the industry, and the reason why is what he's done here at Clinton Raceway. This track is so important to the community. They've raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for charities over the years. Every day they race in the summer, it's a fundraiser for a different community organization, and not surprising that they would put their hand up to host an event like this. It's a big chore for a small track of this stature to host a day like this and be on the national stage, but we were fully confident they would pull it off, and it's been a fantastic day.
This is my first time here since the new grandstand was opened, and that was last year, so second season for it. I mean, great venue, great facility, and like you said, every Sunday is special here as the season rolls along at Clinton. So we're going to take another time out, and when we come back, as the Hall of Famers, the legends, gather for a photo op, when we come back, we turn our focus once again to the National Driving Championship. And while James had to go, we've got a few more special guests that'll be joining us throughout the course of the afternoon. You're watching the 2026 NDC here on Primetime Racing.
And welcome back. There are the legends of today celebrating in the winner's circle here. It is the National Driving Championship Day at Clinton Raceway, part of a big weekend here. And what a show that the drivers put on for us there. It was Steve Condren, a guy that we've seen in the winner's circle so many times in his brilliant career, getting it done today, and wonderful to have them on board in the winner's circle. We are back, and we're going to give Mark McKelvey just a short break here. We've got another special guest in here from one island native to another. Lee Drake is here on behalf of Red Shores Properties in Prince Edward Island. And Lee, it's been an exciting weekend. You're, of course, here cheering on your guys from Atlantic Canada. But let's go back to last night, where the news was announced for next year's World Driving Championship. Some big news for Charlottetown.
Yeah, it's great, Greg. It's always nice to be with you, and two Island boys getting a chance to get together. Last time I saw you was at the course in London for the O'Brien Awards, which was very special as well. And then last night, we're here for Stanbridge Canada meetings, and so we've been here since Thursday. And last night they made it official that we will host, Prince Edward Island will host the final leg of the World Driving Championship. It's going to take place in Charlottetown at Red Shores during Old Home Week 2027. So big announcement. We've known about it for a while. We put the proposal in quite some time ago, and last night it was officially announced. So we were pretty excited to hear the news, and we hosted it in 2017. James McDonald is the defending champ, gets a chance to go back home and try to do it again on his home track or home soil, and it's going to be exciting for everyone.
Yeah, it just seems fitting. And the last time you guys hosted it, tell us about that. Was it even more of a success and a bigger coup for you guys than you imagined it would be?
It was such a special night, Greg. I mean, what it's like Old Home Week, and it was one day before the Gold Cup and Saucer, and everything just lined up. The evening was perfect. The crowd was fantastic. James was leading going into the event and had to hold on for it in an exciting fashion. It basically came down to one of the final legs of the event, and our government representatives were there, the Premier was there, our horsemen's groups, and everyone attended, and just a huge crowd. And not only that, we had an opportunity to broadcast to the world and go into markets that we haven't been in before, and that's the plan this time, is to showcase the great product that we have on Prince Edward Island and Atlantic Canada. And for James to get it done there with his family all there and his friends, it was a really special night.
Yeah. And that's a good point you bring up. And an event like this brings our competitors from all across Canada, different parts of our beautiful country. They all have different things to showcase and beautiful facilities in all of the provinces that are represented as well. I know a lot of people love what they see when they look at Old Home Week and the Gold Cup and Saucer and really want to get down there and experience that. You, on the other hand, have been able to go to Ontario, out west, experience what they do out there. Yeah. It's pretty remarkable, isn't it? The differences, but how wonderful our industry is, and what a great country we have to showcase it in.
Well, you're absolutely right, Greg. And I mean, with Stanbridge Canada, one of the objectives was to get out across the country and to showcase. I mean, we've had the ability to host the O'Brien Awards twice back home in Prince Edward Island. That's been special. We've made the opportunity to visit tracks in Alberta. This is my first time to Clinton. What a magical feel it is here today for the National Driving Championship. Again, another initiative through Stanbridge Canada. The National Minis here yesterday, so the young drivers, The future is bright. So yes, it's a great opportunity to go coast to coast to coast in this great country, and you can feel it here today. The passion, the legends are here. Our drivers, Atlantic Canada, and drivers from across the country. So it really is. It's something special, and I think it's important that we get out across the country and showcase that. And, of course, as you know, we have every opportunity. You and Wally Hennessy interviewed me last night talking about the Gold Cup and the excitement of the Worlds coming back to PEI next year.
Yeah, if you come from Prince Edward Island, like I do, and like many others, you end up, by default, becoming an ambassador for racing there, for Old Home Week especially, and the Gold Cup and Saucer. Inevitably, you tell everybody about it. And in recent years, with the advent of being able to broadcast so far and wide and showcase it even further afield, have you noticed that that's really helped, generate even more interest in the week and the whole event and get more new people there?
Absolutely, Greg. One thing that we do is we champion history, but we also position ourselves for the future. And the broadcast has allowed us to take that greatest show in harness racing, and get it around the globe, and then people see it and they're like, well, I have to go to it. So they're making plans to come here, sometimes as far as a year and a half out, trying to get their locations here. So it's very important. It's a part of the marketing arm that we've worked on and showcasing this great event. The horses are fantastic, and we have the trials this year. We made some changes to the trials. We moved the trials around, put them all in one day for the safety of the horses and the rotation, because they're going such speeds now, and they're such athletes. So we've made some tweaks along the way, but we have not touched that great tradition of what makes that show so special.
All right, can you give us any insight as to what you're expecting this year for trials in terms of maybe the number of horses and the quality of horses we're going to see this year?
Well, Greg, when we started this process last September, getting things ready to go for 2026 and making sure that we had everything in place from a logistics standpoint and what we're going to offer our fans and those kind of things, that felt pretty solid. Then, there were a lot of things that changed in the economy. We thought, if we can get 2 solid trials of 8, we'd be very, very happy with that. The way our recruitment team is happening with Julie Jameson and Nick Oakes and myself and a few others, it's looking like we could have 3 trials. So we would be very excited about that. Now, it's very important that the nomination date, your horse has to be in by Monday, August the 10th, and 3 o'clock Atlantic time, or 2 p.m. Eastern. And then the trials are the 15th. And then, of course, the following week is the Gold Cup and Saucer on the 22nd. So right now it's shaping up. We've got a lot of interest. And as Gerard Smith, our race secretary, will say, you never know until they're in the box.
All right, and for anybody that's thinking of going, any newcomers, can they get, a good bite to eat there? Or can they have a little fun?
You know it. We have fantastic restaurants and fantastic food in Prince Edward Island. You can mix in some golf as well if you want. The beaches are fabulous, as you know. And, there's a lot of fun. One thing about Old Home Week is that feel here today that you get at Clinton and at your track as well. But, it's that backstretch, that feel of community, that sense of family there and tradition. And you really feel it. So if you're going to come, you're going to have a great time on Prince Edward Island. And the great thing about it is everything is close, Greg, as you know. So we've had people come in and say, I can go golfing in the morning, come to the track later in the afternoon, and or go to one of your favorite beaches. So you'll have a great time. I guarantee it, and we look forward to having you on Prince Edward Island.
Yeah, different than really any other event in harness racing in that it is more than a full week. The event encompasses that with the trials and then the final on that last Saturday and all of the festivities and the stuff you have in between, including a parade on the Friday morning.
50,000 people on the streets of Charlottetown. I mean, it's hard to believe. And but all the great exhibition, agricultural fairs that Old Home Week exhibition puts on as well. Then you match that in with the great harness racing, which starts on the 14th of August and goes straight through until the 22nd. We do take a break on the Sunday. But, it's just Atlantic Lottery has done a fantastic job, promoting. We are Atlantic Lottery, but they stepped up and are the title sponsor of the $100,000 Gold Cup and Saucer. We really appreciate that. And we add in all those special touches that Prince Edward Island is known for and Red Shores has a reputation for. And we're looking forward to having all of you join us in Charlottetown.
And you must be pretty proud of your representatives, the 2 representatives from Atlantic Canada that are here. You've got Mark Campbell, the kingpin from down there for a number of years, and then the new face, Keith Legg. Just talk about both of them, kind of opposite ends of the spectrum coming in, but have both represented Eastern Canada very well.
Well, Mark Campbell, as you know, has been our top driver. Greg, I heard you talking about it earlier today. He's been our top driver on Prince Edward Island for several years. And he continues to bring his A game each and every time he goes out on the racetrack. And so he's been in these competitions before. He knows what that's like. Keith Legg, he put in a really great performance in the Atlantic Regionals. He put his horses in position to win. He turned a lot of heads that day. And I was talking to Keith last night. He just said, look, I'm really enjoying coming here, and I'm just going to try to put the horses in a position to win and collect some points throughout the day. And he's been doing well. So is Mark. Mark got a win there earlier in the program. It's a very tight competition here today. Several winners. Jody's got a couple of wins in there, so it's getting tight, and it's going to get right down to the wire here, I think.
Yeah, and Jody, he's the next thing to an Islander, right? Native of Nova Scotia. He loves to get down to Old Home Week as well. And not surprising, right, as we go into the home stretch of this competition to see him starting to widen his advantage.
You know what? He's an ambassador for the sport. When he comes here, comes back home on Prince Edward Island, he's so with the fans. He promotes the fans, promotes the horses, and we really enjoy Jody being here. And at the end of the day, he just shows that he's one of the best drivers in the world because, he's leading this competition again. And, he's going to be tough to beat today.
He sure is. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty here, and as we are just a few moments away, we'll update, try to get an updated look at the standings there on the scroll at the bottom of the screen. But we know Jody has sort of jumped out and seized the opportunity here. Let's go back just for one final thought on just the overall state of the game on PEI right now. Purse is the highest they've ever been, and lots of nice horses there. Things seem to be going quite well.
Very well, Greg. It's harness racing on Prince Edward Island. The breeding is very strong. The Atlantic Classic yearling sale is very strong. We have a great working relationship with our governments on Prince Edward Island, and everybody just is working to achieve great results, and we've been doing that at our properties, and we're very pleased.
Thanks so much, Lee, for joining us. I know you're enjoying the weekend. Enjoy the rest of the day, and good luck with Old Home Week just around the corner.
Thanks very much, Greg.
All right, we're going back up to Sugared Oil with the call of race number 8.
Greystone Wicked in the center with Kelly Court. Ace 44 Hawk, Tyler Borth. Large John Lily, Mark Campbell, 7 outside. The Waltzing Weasel, Nick Boyd, treading spot. Rose Run Bingo. The 8 was Stefan Russo for the Hambletonian Society. Race 8 picks up speed. Here they come. And away they go. First to show. Wicked Ending for Jody. Sending another one on into there. Keith Legg to be up close with Pink Skies tonight in second. Traveling into third, we've got Giesbrecht with Tall and Cruising on the outside, searching for a room at the inn. That's Campbell with Large on Lily. Pocket pulling prior to the quarter mile and now taking control. This is Pink Skies tonight. Keith Legg has set up shop now on the front end, opens by 2.5 lengths and puts up an opening quarter in 27-4 into turn number 2. All chasing after the favorite Pink Skies tonight in Legg. Second best for Wicked Ending and Jody moving to the outside in third. There goes Giesbrecht with Tall and Cruising. Gapped on the cover out there in fourth. Large John Lily for Campbell on the half-mile approach. Keith Legg, he's been left alone to this point. Now he's got a challenger showing up. This is Tall and Cruising. Giesbrecht going after Legg with Pink Skies tonight. Right up there with him in third. Wicked Ending for Jody. Out there in fourth. Large John Lily and Campbell along the inside and holding down fifth. We've got the Kelly Hort, Greystone Wicked. Following up that to the inside, Rose Run Bingo, Brasso. Back markers in the field. We've got Borth with Ace 44 Hawk and trailing the Waltzing Weasel, Nick Boyd. Half was up 57-4, and they're still trying to crack the code on Pink Skies tonight. And Keith Legg still doing good things up front, being roused in second. Tall and Cruising for Giesbrecht, tripping out in third. Wicked Ending for Jameson. Back to the pylons in fourth. Large on Lily for Campbell and coming late. Brasso with Rose Run Bingo. Following 3/4, 127. Show 'em if you got 'em time. It's Pink Skies tonight from the pocket. Wicked Ending and Jody. Jody and Wicked Ending. Wicked Ending and Jody against Toe. So is right there with Rose Run Bingo. So too is Pink Skies tonight. And Keith Legg, a 3-way thriller. We need a picture.
Well, that was a thrilling finish in today's 8th race. 3 legs to go in the NDC, and the points, they are at a premium. You got to get them right now. For Jody Jameson, he possibly had a chance here to pretty much wrap this thing up. He was coming between horses here as he popped out of the pocket, trying to get by Keith Legg. And Stefan Brasso going to come into the hunt here on the far outside with Rose Run Bingo. It's a tight finish there. The camera, I think, just ahead of the wire, so we might not have the best angle in terms of being able to make the call. But good news, Greg, we got the photo finish camera, and it's going to get put to use now.
Yeah, it's that's what it's all about, and it's the top contenders that are going to be vying for this really important win. If Stéphane Brosseau got there, it gives him a chance, I think, if my math is right. And if Jody held on, it might be all but over.
Waiting for the call. I can hear track announcer Sugar Doyle. And it looks like we see Stéphane Brosseau coming back towards the winner's circle. So looks like he's got the win. Jody's taking the turn back to the paddock. So it is Rose Run Bingo, and that's going to keep things interesting with 2 races to go. We're going to take a timeout, and when we come back, we've got another special guest joining us on the desk, as Greg and I are going to be joined by the Hall of Famer, Wally Hennessy. The NDC coming down to its final 2 legs, and it certainly is still up in the air. Don't go anywhere. You're watching our live coverage of the 2026 National Driving Championship here on Prime Time Racing.
Sure.
Rose Run Bingo on the far outside wins a thriller in today's 8th race. The 8th race sponsored by the Hambletonian Society. And the man that leads the Hambletonian Society, John Campbell, is in attendance here today. So good to have him as a part of the Legends Day festivities. The Hambletonian coming up in just a couple weeks' time, Saturday, August 8th, for the 101st edition. Welcoming you back to the desk, and Greg, I kick it over to you because we've got a little theme of the East Coast here, but it's Legends Day, lots of Hall of Famers in attendance, and a man that doesn't need any introduction, one of the best in the game, and somebody so well loved across the harness racing world, Wally Hennessy, with us.
We brought Wally World to Clinton today, Wally Hennessy, and you were supposed to be driving today, Wally, and you were a late scratch. Maybe just tell us what happened.
Yeah, well, it was a week ago Saturday. Racing Saratoga, New York. Had a little mishap going into the first turn, got unseated, and broke a couple of ribs. So I'm in pretty good shape now today, but I couldn't drive, so I'm kind of disappointed. I want to be a part of this. Ian has been kind enough to invite me the last 4 or 5. So yeah, I was really looking forward to it, but just to be here today is pretty exciting.
Yeah, and Wally, you talked to me off camera a few moments ago about the fact that you thought maybe you were going to step back from the driving, but it brought you right back in. It's hard to shake the bug, isn't it?
It really is. I didn't think it would be. Like, I mean, this is all I've done my whole life, and when you're a competitor, and I'm actually still getting some pretty live, drives and stuff. So it's really is hard to step back. I did step back. I lasted 3 weeks. And then I trained some babies this past winter in Florida, and I've been coming up to Saratoga pretty regularly over the last 40 years, so I love Saratoga. It's a nice track to race on, and
that at your age now, you're not calling you old by any means, but you're getting up there as a veteran and still competing at the high level you are. A guy like Dave Miller in Ohio is kind of in the same boat. How do you keep yourself in shape, I guess, both physically and mentally to do it and be able to compete right at the top level?
Yeah, Greg and Mark, it's kind of like this. It's all I've done. It's all I've ever done. As far as physical abilities, I've been blessed. I've been blessed with that, but I work hard at what I do. It's not easy. So physically, I never worked out in my life. I just worked with the horses, and mentally, depending on who you talk to, I guess, I still think I'm pretty sharp. I'm a very big student of the game. Like, I'm a big program studier. I like to think that I know the competition's horse better than they know it themselves. And whether I do or not, and I have not lost my confidence. That's the big thing. But there comes a time, and I can feel it coming. It was supposed to be last year, so I don't want to make any commitments to when I will be done, but I'll know. I'll know when it's over.
You were talking a bit about the racing community at Saratoga, and I know a popular photographer in the game, Jessica Hallett, her and her mother drove you up here for this event, and I see a lot of the stuff coming out of the racing scene in Saratoga, and there's a lot of bright young talent there as well. Just racing at some of that young talent like a Brett Beckwith, does that keep you young?
Yeah, it actually does. You know, today with the horses that, like, when I kind of was brought into the business, we didn't have the talented horses and the great athletic horses like they do today to drive. But these young fellas today, like, they're doing things like what Brett Beckwith, there's Brett Beckwith, there's another young kid, Jacob Cutting, Kyle Swift, who's leading the driving colony there right now in wins. These boys can do stuff that it took me a long time to get to realize that I could do that. And they're driving with that kind of confidence that you need. So, listen, you gotta change with the times. I believe our game today is an aggressive game. You got to be in the hunt early. But yes, you asked me the question, do them guys raise my game? Yes, because I'm not ready to let them pass me yet.
Wally, when you look back over your career, so many great memories, and you know you've been at places like Saratoga, Pompano Park. You kind of really made your mark there on the Grand Circuit. What are you most proud of when you look back on your incredible career?
I guess the longevity, Greg. You know, I've been able to continue to do this. Like, when I would look at people my age now, when I was younger, I was kind of, you know, marveled at that. Say, how can they be that old and still do what we're doing? And I guess the longevity is the big thing, the big key to me. And listen, I've had so much help throughout my career. Right from the time, as you know, when I grew up on Prince Edward Island, I came from a horse racing family so I had great teachers, and I listen, I watch. I'm still learning today, even at this age. I'm still learning. I don't know. Just great. The good horses. The good horses make the drivers look good. So, and I've been fortunate enough throughout my whole career to be able to be hooked up with people that wanted to use me.
And speaking of good horses, Mark, I was going to ask Wally about one in particular, and her name's Moneymaker. You know, widely considered the greatest female trotter of all time. Reflect back on how you got hooked up with her and what that ride was like.
Oh, that was, you know, when I was on the ride, guys, and she had raced like for 5-6 years, so, which was, you know, kind of unheard of. Anybody, a horse staying, especially a mare racing against boys, to stay at that level for that long. But she was just exceptional. I don't know how to explain her other than that she was a freak. She, how I got her was, I was known for a long time to be the king of the New York Sire Stakes, and she was a New York bred, and I had drove for the trainer and the owner, so that's kind of how I initially got hooked up with Moneymaker. She got sold as a 3-year-old, and the people that purchased her, I guess they didn't want to replace me, I guess, at the time, so, and I'm glad they didn't. But she took me places that I never ever thought I'd be. And I don't know if I've ever felt the confidence in a horse like I felt with her. I felt like the only way that she could get beat is if I got her beat. And she was a hard one to get beat because you could do so many things with her. She was a phenomenal horse that she knew what her job was, and the people that I was associated with throughout her career, they never put no pressure on me. So it was a very enjoyable time. But now looking back, it's more enjoyable now looking back, as you guys have just brought her up. It's 20-some years since she raced, and she is still considered to be one of the greatest standardbreds of all time.
Absolutely. When you look at the lines there and just see everywhere she went and everything she won, it is truly remarkable. Memories to last you a lifetime, no doubt about it. Speaking of making memories, you were a part of last night's festivities leading into Legends Day, all connected this year with the National Driving Championship. What was last night like, gathering with your fellow legends and also meeting the gentlemen competing in today's driving challenge?
Yeah, it was awesome. Like, a couple of them guys I hadn't met before, and listen, there's a reason why they're there last night, because they earned their way there. And, they all have so much talent. And then to catch up with all my buddies, all the legends, John, Billy, Ronnie, we had a great chat all night. This was like, I'm still hurting a little bit, not that bad, but I wanted so much to come here today because of what was going on, not only for the Legends Day, but to see who will be crowned the champion to represent Canada. It's got to be I never ever got that opportunity. I wish that was one thing that I could have had in my life, but never ever got the opportunity to do it. But I can just imagine putting on the Canadian colors. Make you proud.
I was going to put Wally on the spot a little bit here. You're here last night with guys like John Campbell and Bill O'Donnell, and now we're watching the James McDonalds and Dexter Dunns of the world do their thing. Who's the greatest driver, in your opinion, that that you would have at least seen over your career?
Well, that's an easy answer. I think everybody probably answers it the same way. Another fellow with longevity, John Campbell they call him the GOAT, and it's a well-earned handle, because without a doubt, I raced against him. I raced against all them guys, but John was just, I don't know, he had just this other sense. He had another sense that I don't think the rest of us have. He just was always in the right place at the right time, and he did it year in, year out. And you got to understand, the drivers or the trainers and owners that he was racing for later in his career, all his fellows that he had all the success with early in his career, they were all either retired or out of the business. He just kept being the man to go to. Like, if you had a good horse, you wanted John Campbell. And everybody knew it, and he delivered every time. He's just by far the best. I mean, there's a lot of great drivers. A lot of people, if they had the opportunity, could probably do a little better than what they did, but there was only one John Campbell.
So here's a question that comes out of all that, and then having had the success you've had, as well as watching many of the greats over the years, if a young driver came to you and said, what's one piece of advice you could pass along, or what do you think maybe might be the single most important piece of advice a young driver needs to know, what would you say?
Well, there's a lot of pieces go into it, what we see out here on the track, like when they're racing, that's the finished product. But you have to have talent. But I think talent will take you so far. But if you don't have a good attitude and respect for people, that everybody has their jobs in this business, and I could never have got to the winner's circle, I think 12,000 plus times, without the people that put their faith in me. And I always, if they ask me what to do, I said, just give everybody the best chance that you can, and have respect and integrity.
That brings up a funny story. My first time ever at Yonkers Raceway, it would be back in the 90s. It was a New York Sire Stakes night, and you would have had your typical full lineup of drives, and you were making your third or fourth trip to the winner's circle that night. And I was at Freehold at that time, so I knew kind of how rough that the horse players were down there on drivers at both Freehold, and then Yonkers was a whole other level. I watched other drivers come into the winner's circle, and it was hard to keep it pretty PG in what they were saying to the driver. And then Wally comes in, and I couldn't believe how the fans interacted with him, how differently they did. They were, talking to you and telling you, "We love you, Wally. You're the man." And I just thought, like, he's the only guy that they're doing that with. So it told me a lot about your personality, and obviously, part of what made you so successful. You were, obviously a good people person too, and knew how to sort of manage that side of the business along with the natural talent you had.
Yeah, but Greg, I think you got them on a good night that night, because I got lots of blasts over the fence there as well. But yeah, you got that's a big part of the social part of this. Our business is not that big; it's kind of a small business, so it doesn't take long for people to know if your attitude's not what it should be, or more than your attitude, just the way you treat people. It doesn't take long for that to get around, and if you want to succeed in this game, you got to have these people to be able to succeed. So treat them like you'd like to be treated yourself.
And that must go back to your family upbringing, right? You're a well-known racing family on Prince Edward Island, legendary, I would say. And you're not the only successful horse person by any stretch that's come from that family.
No, not only that family. You're 100% right. I did have a terrific upbringing, and we were taught that to treat people with a lot of respect. But I think the island itself, that's just our nature from Prince Edward Island. You're from there, Greg, and I don't know whether we can find anybody better than you for the job that you do on here. I know Mark's here. I'll give him a little kudos too. But I'm a big Greg Blanchard fan. He's an Islander, but that's the way we're raised there. It's a different kind of mindset, I guess.
Wally, we appreciate you taking the time to join us. I'm glad you were able to make it up to Legends Day. Would have been great to see you on the bike, but continued well on that recovery, and it's always a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I was glad when Greg asked me if he wanted to come on. You guys do a great job, and continue to do that.
Thanks so much. Wally Hennessy. It's time now for race number 9. 2 legs to go in the National Driving Championship. The gate is in motion.
Little T on the rail. Nick Boyd, B3PO, Stefan Brosseau, Halcyon Hanover, Keith Legg. Watcher Fly, Phil Giesbrecht, Lily Claire, Mark Campbell, A Sailor's Delight, Kelly Hort, Misty Rocks, Tyler Borth, Back Tier, Black Creek, Rosebud, Jody Jameson. Who do you like? Here they come. They're off. 4 of them across, heads apart into the opening turn. Little T and Nick Boyd. One at the first call, they've got it. Lily Claire and Mark Campbell setting sail into second. Misty Rockenborth up on the outside, trying to be third against Halcyon Hanover and Keith Legg. They're showing it onto the opening quarter. It's a 2-horse breakaway early. Little T loves the lead. She's got it for Nick Boyd with Lily Claire and Mark Campbell right there in the pocket at the quarter in 27-4. Misty Rocks now finding pylons in third for Borth. In third, backed off into fourth there was Halcyon Hanover, Keith Legg. A move to the outside of Stefan Brosseau in play here with B3PO. Pocket pulling here at 3/8 completion. Lily Claire and Campbell up against it here with the very stubborn Little T, and Nick Boyd is going to take her on. These two matching strides by the half at 57 seconds flat. Watching this battle develop from third. Misty Rocks for Tyler Borth moving into 4. B3PO, Stefan Brosseau, and the fifth it in for Halcyon Hanover Legg. Out of the backfield, we've got the moving up on the outside, Giesbrecht with Watcher Fly. Going next to last along the inside, Black Creek, Rosebud, and Jody. Trailing was A Sailor's Delight and Kelly Hort. Here is Missy Rocks and Tyler Borth. They just gave them a how's she going. Up and by 3/4 and 1, 26-4. The free-legged pacer freewheeling now on top. Missy Rocks steps away by 3 full lengths. Second best is Little T, that is, into the stretch they turn. So Missy Rocks, Tyler Borth has it by 3, make it 4. Little T staying on for second for Board. It's all going to be Missy Rocks, Tyler Borth, a winner by 4 open lengths. Nick Boyd, Little T would be second. B3PO and Brosseau getting third in 1, 57-1.
Missy Rocks, Tyler Borth, victorious here in race number 9. Tyler's going to get himself to the winner's circle here, and a very impressive winner as the 4-5 favorite wins by several lengths to go on to the score. Nick Boyd's going to finish second with Little T, finishing third with Stefan Brosseau, and then rounding out that top 4 was Mark Campbell. Lily Claire will round out the superfecta. Jody Jamieson didn't look like he got much in terms of points in that race. Just trying to see, as there was several across the track at the wire. Stefan Brosseau went into the race 11 points back of Jody. And I guess the thing will be, as we get the updated leaderboard, will there be a chance?
That could mathematically give him a chance. Yeah. That's really all you can ask for going into the final leg. Jody will have the rail in the 10th and final. And Stefan will be on a contender from Post 5 in Rose Run Vortex. So, yeah, we're going to have to just kind of see how this shakes out. But I think he's going to be within range.
Well, that'll keep things interesting, and that's all you want when you get to the final race of any driving challenge. The NDC with one race to go. But Tyler Borth going to the winner's circle, taking the 9th with Missy Rocks. More on the other side of the break. You're watching Prime Time Racing. Welcome back into the winner's circle as Missy Rocks, winner of the 9th race. It's Tyler Borth winning, and if you couldn't figure that out, well, just take a look at the winner's circle and all the orange T-shirts.
There is a theme out there, and that's what you love to see, a big cheering section. The day hasn't quite gone the way Tyler would have hoped for, but you know that win is going to mean a lot to him. He doesn't get shut out. He gets to celebrate a victory with his cheering squad here late in the competition. But, yeah, we'll have all eyes on Stefan Brosseau and Jody Jamieson, it looks like, going into the final leg to decide who's going to be this year's champion.
Jody Jamieson trying to go back to the World Championships, where he's already a 2-time World Driving Champion. And I think what's unique about the 2 wins for Jody and the 2 wins for James is when you look at where they were in terms of their career at that time. For Jody, his first win came pretty early on in his career, kind of really continues to put him on the map, and then he goes back and wins again. I think it was around 2011, 2013, somewhere in that ballpark, but it was in the United States. Similar for James, 2017, it was kind of that breakout to get the win at the Worlds, and then most recently in 2025, having now won multiple O'Brien Awards.
And now if Jody can get it done and go and represent Canada again, it's going to put him in rarefied air, you know, one of the only drivers, if not the only, to make a third appearance and perhaps win a third time at the world level. And you know, if he makes it there, he'll be a force. He just has a knack in these competitions. We've said it year after year. It doesn't matter what his lineup looks like coming in. He just has a way of maximizing his results and capitalizing when he can. For Stefan Brosseau, we shouldn't be surprised he's in this position. He was the runner-up at the Nationals previously, and he's showing fans something here today. He's driving really well and putting all of his horses in good position.
Let's take a look now at the updated leaderboard just to show you how it's looking going into the final race of the NDC. That updated leaderboard is going to have Jody Jamieson in first position with 58 points. Stefan Brosseau is second with 51, so 7 points separate them. Now Tyler Borth is up to third with 47 points, so he's 11 back of that top spot. After that, you find Mark Campbell in fourth at 39, so no chance for him there. But the top 3 mathematically in the hunt here going into this final race. Again, 58 for Jamieson, 51 for Brousseau, and 47 for Borth. The fellas from the West Coast came out here and certainly got noticed early on in the program. Phil Giesbrecht and Kelly Hort. Earlier today, Jamie had a chance to chat with them.
When you are ready.
Welcome back to the paddock. We have our Western Canadian driver champions here, Kelly and Phil. I'm going to start with you, Phil. How excited are you to be here back in Clinton? You've spent some time here before, just to be a part of the festivities.
It's amazing to be around these guys. Nice little track. I always like coming here. It's got a great atmosphere, and yeah, hopefully the day keeps on going along.
And did anyone join you coming out to Ontario?
Yeah, my wife Jocelyn, and then my mom and dad met me in Winnipeg, or they flew from Winnipeg and met us in Toronto as well, so it was perfect.
So a nice family weekend here, and of course, lots of activities. How's the competition heating up there out on the track?
It's getting hot and heavy. Yeah, I got to start maybe being a little more aggressive here, but that's okay. It's all in good fun, and everyone's going to have a great day.
Absolutely, and Kelly joins us now here. A win under your belt, not too bad so far for halfway through the card. Just tell us, of course, both of you have been in this competition before. How is it being back in this stage?
Oh, you know, this is probably some of the most fun you could have as a driver, being involved in events like this that bring in a lot of fans and new fans. And you know, you look at the grandstand over there; it's absolutely packed. Everybody here at Clinton has just been absolutely accommodating and very good to us. So, you know, you can't beat this atmosphere.
And something very exciting that was announced last night is that the World Driving Championship, of course, being hosted next year in 2027, is in Canada, and it's starting your neck of the woods in Western Canada. How amazing is it to kick off that?
Oh, that would be amazing to be able to represent your country in your own country. I think would be extra special, and to have it all across Canada for everybody to see and the exposure, I think that's nothing but a bonus.
And how about you, Phil, just being on that stage at kind of in your home?
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe a little bit of an advantage there, but you know how it is with horses. They got to show up for you. But no, it's going to be great for all of Canada. I mean, this is the biggest event around. I mean, we can't get any bigger than that.
We're excited to have you guys here at Clinton, and good luck for the rest of the afternoon.
Thank you very much, Jamie.
On the desk, and great to have Phil Giesbrecht and Kelly Hort a part of this weekend's festivities. Phil coming back to another National Driving Championship, and Kelly making his presence felt throughout the afternoon. But with one race to go, we've narrowed down the field in terms of who could win the NDC. And the top two going in, Jody Jamieson, 58 points. Stefan Brousseau, 51. 7 points separate them. Right now, just Jamie separates them as we go over to the paddock. All right, we're coming back to the desk here. Unfortunately, just having some difficulties with the audio. If we can get that resolved, we will try to get back to that interview with Jamie, Jody, and Stefan. Just seeing if we might be able to go back there in a second. Updated leaderboard is scrolling across the bottom of your screen as we speak. Again, it's a 7-point lead for Jody Jamieson going into the last. So we had to put our math hats on to try and calculate all the possible scenarios. We'll get to that in a moment. Sounds like we're good back in the paddock. Let's go to Jamie again.
3.
Jody and Stefan, join me now. My top two on the leaderboard. Jody's got 58 points as Stefan with 51. Now, what is it going to take to bring home the championship and wear that red and white? Jody, I'll start with you. How's, coming into race 10? How are you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, who would have wanted any different than this, right? To really come right down to the final race. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know. We got the rail. I got the rail, I should say, in this race with all the cheddar. But it's going to be a great race. There's a lot of quality horses in there. And, I'll just try to stay ahead of everybody else. And then that'll be all I have to do.
And, of course, it's been a fantastic afternoon. All comes down to race 10 here on the card. Stefan, how are you feeling coming down? You got to hit that wire.
Oh, well, I'm very happy to be still in the race, you know. And we know that already a bald guy is going to win, so that's pretty good. But, you know, it was a nice afternoon, and I enjoy it.
Fantastic afternoon, like you guys both have said. Good news is, no matter how hot and crazy it is here, I've got the best hair out of us three. So good, so good luck, and we cannot wait to see what this comes down to the wire. Good luck to both of you.
Thank you.
Fantastic stuff there, Jamie. Glad you were able to catch up with Jody and Stefan. And despite what's on the line here, and there's a lot on the line, they're still having a little bit of fun and chuckling. Maybe that's some gamesmanship, though, as they get ready to go out onto the track. So all we could ask for, Greg, was to get to our final race and have it matter.
Yeah, that's what we said coming in, and it's exactly what you'd like to see. And even mathematically, Tyler Borth in third has a chance. It's an outside chance, and you know, if he does win here and falls just short, you know, he'll be reliving some of the earlier races, wondering where could I have maybe, you know, picked up another position or two. And those points, they're so critical. We've said it earlier. Those thirds and fourths along the way sometimes can be the difference maker. But for Jody, yeah, he's pretty much maximized his lineup today, and that's what he does in these competitions. He's just got the touch, and the only way to describe it, I think it's a mental thing. I think he just is so confident he comes in with the right approach.
We're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, the post parade. We meet the field for our final race today as the NDC comes to a close. We're back. Here's the field for our final race today. You just saw the one, all the cheddar, Jody Jamieson. Can this be his ticket to the NDC title?
The number 2, Hollywood Dale, is going to get Kelly Horde driving. This guy's got the class, but needed to get away from the big track at Grand River. This could be what the doctor ordered for him.
Possibly that the Loyer barn gets another win here. This horse has been red hot. Speak dollars and cents. Phil Giesbrecht does the driving. A horse that's going for the Grand Slam, trying to make it 4 in a row, all here at Clinton.
First-time competitor Keith Legg, good opportunity to win here in the finale. This girl rules. 2 back, a winner in a quick 153-1 at Grand River.
The 5 is Rose Run Vortex, and this is the drive for Stéphane Brosseau. Currently second, 7 points back at Jody Jamieson, going into the final race, trained by Terry Gallant. 5th last time out here at Clinton. Goes from post position number 5.
Nick Boyd, he's been putting his charges in play all day long, and he's got a speed baller from post 6 here in the finale. His name is Dapper Fella. He loves to be right on the front and often can carry his speed the distance.
7 is Grin and Win, Mark Campbell's drive in the finale for trainer Heather Pickett. A horse coming back to the half-mile oval, has been racing at Grand River, Woodbine Mohawk Park. Getting on the board quite often as of late, but first start in just about a month's time after being scratched last time out.
And Tyler Borth, he'll try and cap off the competition with 2 consecutive wins. And he has a big opportunity here. Lady Speaker, a 154-4 winner last time over the half-mile oval at Dresden. Looks like a major competitor in here. Really wide open affair in the finale, Mark.
Yes, absolutely, and that's all you want. A big competitive race here to cap things off. So once again, we set the scene for you. Jody Jamieson, first place at 58 points. Stéphane Brosseau is second at 51, and Tyler Borth third at 47. Those are the 3 drivers that going into the final race do have an opportunity to win this event. And once again, how it breaks down in terms of the points. 15 for a win, 10 for a second, 7 for a third, then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So doing our math here, if you're Stefan Brosseau, and I'm sure he's run the scenarios through his head, he's 7 points back. So he's got to make up 7 points on Jody Jamieson. The easiest way to do that, of course, would be just go out and win this race and hope that Jody then finishes no better than third. And if you're Jody, there's probably going to be a lot of watching for positioning here in this case, because for the most part, he realizes you just got to get a solid finish as long as Stefan doesn't win.
That's what I expect from Jody. The horse he's driving, Has Post 1, doesn't typically show much early speed, but I think all Jody will be looking to do is get away somewhere middle of the pack, and then he'll just let things unfold from there. This horse rallied last time at Dresden from eighth and last, and paced a huge final half to win, swept the field to get it done. So I think that's going to give Jody the confidence to know that no matter where he's sitting, back hopefully middle of the field or even a little further back, the horse will give him a good enough kick to pick up a big share, and that's all it will take for him to win.
For Tyler Borth to win this thing, he's got to win this race. That's the only result that would get him a chance at that. Again, then he'd need a little help in terms of the position that Jody and Stefan finish in this contest. But for Tyler, what do you think of his chances in here? It's in the second tier. Can he get another victory?
Yeah, huge opportunity. I mean, this horse, to me, has the best line last time out coming in. 54-4 at Dresden. Not only the win time, the last quarter 27-4. That is cooking over that half-mile oval. Fairly comparable racing surface to here. That kind of a mile today, I think, would put this horse in the winner's circle. The question is, even if he does win, will it be enough to get the overall victory? And that is certainly the huge question. For Stefan Brosseau, a little more concerning to me when you look at the horse, Rose Run Vortex. He's been a nice horse, a classy competitor over his career, but he's just 1 for 25 this year. So is today the day he's going to get his second win? If that happens, I think a lot of credit will have to go to Mr. Brosseau, because he'll have to be at his best and engineer a perfect trip, I think, for it to happen.
And then there's the other drivers in the field who, they don't have a chance now at that national title. But again, they're all competitive. And for those that haven't yet got to the winner's circle, it's your final kick at the can. Nobody wants to go home shut out. Absolutely. You'd love to go home just saying you got your picture taken and you got to win against the best in Canada on this day. So that's going to be the goal. And there are several that have the chance to do that. This is one of those races, maybe the most competitive on paper that we've seen all day long. There's a lot of quality, a lot of horses coming in pretty good form. So this is a driver's race. I think it's going to be the best trip that ultimately ends up in the winner's circle. We've had a wonderful afternoon here at Clinton for the National Driving Championship, and it's time to put a bow on what's been a fantastic competition. Will it be Jody, Stefan, or Tyler? One of the three will be your 2026 national champion. Wings of the starting gate are open. It's post time for the finale.
Thank all the fans for being with us this afternoon, on track or off. We had a lovely crowd on the fence here cheering on the horses and drivers this afternoon on Legends Day, National Driving Championship Day. We got all the cheddar, Jody Jamieson, Hollywood Dale, Kelly Hort, Speak Dollars and Cents, Phil Giesbrecht. This Girl Rules, Keith Legg, Rose Run Vortex, Stefan Brosseau, a dapper fella, Nick Boyd, Grin and Win, Mark Campbell, Lady Speaker, Tyler Borth in the back tier spot, into the stretch. And here they come, the NDC finale. They're off. Leaving out first, dapper fella Nick Boyd up between pacers. This Girl Rules. Keith Legg on the inside. Speak Dollars and Cents. Phil Giesbrecht is stacking them up early on by the opening 8. This Girl Rules for Legg, looking for the lead. It ain't gonna happen here. Speak Dollars and Cents. Giesbrecht giving this one a reminder to go on in here. Battle on to the quarter mile and taking control just at that quarter mile pole. This Girl Rules for Legg. A lead of 2 to Speak Dollars and Cents and Giesbrecht second. Traveling in third, Dapper Fella. for Nick Boyd. He's getting a peek to the outside. Stefan Brosseau looking for the toe up here with Rose Run of Vortex. Switching outside in fifth. Jody Jamieson is in the top 5 on this half-mile approach, and now he's going to set it up third over with All the Cheddar. Staying in, Grin and Win for Mark Campbell. Back markers, Lady Speaker, Tyler Borth, Hollywood Dale, Kelly Hort, over to the half in 57-1. That followed up a quarter of 27-3. This Girl Rules driving on against the first up attacker, Dapper Fella. And Nick Boyd, third and in. Speak dollars and cents. Giesbrecht, 3 wide on the outside. Spun. Brosseau setting up Rose Run Vortex with a big 3 wide push late in this mile. Up and by 3/4. Here it is for This Girl Rules. And Keith Legg, 127 flat, pulling from the pocket. Speak dollars and cents for Giesbrecht, saving all the ground, and now show up in second. Grin and Win for Mark Campbell, still in play fourth. Rose Run Vortex, Brosseau saving ground. Kelly Hort with Hollywood Dale into the stretch. They turn and burn. This Girl Rules for Lag. Here comes the pocket rocket. Grin and Win, and Campbell launched up late. Grin and Win, and Campbell maybe over 4. This Girl Rules. Keith Legg in for third. Speak dollars and cents. Giesbrecht, 156-1.
It's Grin and Win. Another great finish here in the NDC contest. Grin and Win, another 7-hole winner on the program. Mark Campbell, as this one reaches up for the score. We were watching the rest of the field to see positioning at the wire. It appears Stefan Brosseau was 4th. Jody Jamieson finished 7th. But looking at the points they will pick up, it won't be enough for Stefan Brosseau, and Jody Jamieson will be your 2026 National Driving Champion.
Yeah, pretty incredible final leg here. You were watching how it unfolded, and really cool to see the 2 Atlantic Canadian representatives who were looking for their first win get it done here. Keith Legg was just inches away from holding on. What a memory that would have been. But Mark Campbell from the pockets able to reach up and get him in the final strides. You know they're going to have a lot of fun when they get back home. I'm sure joking about that. But yeah, great finish, and what a steer by Mark Campbell. Nice way to cap off the day. He was 6th on the inside at the half, and needed to find some racing room, and worked up in between horses, got to save ground on the last turn, and the horse did the rest in the stretch.
Again, the action delivered today, and that's what we thought we would get. We thought we'd get some real good racing, and does not disappoint. So Mark Campbell gets the job done. Now again, we will wait for the official point calculation, but it was a 7-point difference going into the final race between Stefan Brosseau and Jody Jamieson. So Stefan had to find a way to make up those 7 points, and a 4th place finish was only going to get him 5. So that'll be it. And Jody Jamieson just went by our set there a few moments ago, Greg, when you were talking, and he looked over and he asked, did I win? I gave him the thumbs up. And, well,
you better hope your math was right.
I'm pretty sure it was, but I was going to say, I don't think we could repeat what Jody said. He is jacked up and real thrilled as we're seeing a lot of the supporters making their way down to the winner's circle. First of all, for a winner of the last race, Grin and Win, and then we will also have the presentation of the National Driving Championship.
Yeah, for everything Jody's done, he's never lost that competitive spirit and that fire and that internal drive. And here he is going back for a 3rd time to represent Canada at the Worlds. And, you know, job well done. They made him earn it today. This was no easy task. There was great racing all day long. Guys were driving very hard, very competitive, and it was fantastic to watch from start to finish. Great to see it come down to the last race. Not shocking, though, to see Jody do what he had to do to get it done.
So congratulations to the winner of the final race, first and foremost, to kick things off with our post-race celebrations. It's Grin and Win, as the 4-year-old Gallard son of Believe in Bruiser is going to pick up his 2nd win of the season, career win number 5. Has a sparkling mark taken as a 3-year-old of 50-1, and the class shows through here in this position to win the finale. So Mark Campbell going back to the winner's circle. Jody Jamieson and the other drivers part of today's competition will make their way over to the winner's circle for the trophy presentation. Greg will be in the winner's circle to speak with our champion here in 2026. So we'll let Greg make his way over to the winner's circle. We'll stick with the coverage here right through till the trophy presentation, as it was a wonderful show here today put on by the folks at Clinton Raceway and Standardbred Canada. When it was announced a few months ago that this year's NDC would be a part of Legends Day, there was a great buzz and great excitement. Legends Day has become a staple every 2 years on the harness racing calendar, a can't-miss event for the diehards and the racing fans, and as well the money that it raises for local charities certainly cannot be overlooked. To add an event like the National Driving Championship is just a cherry on top. And the folks that put on the show did a wonderful job. The guys that went on the track and then provided the entertainment, they did as well. And I can see the drivers starting to make their way over to the winner's circle. So grin and win, our final winner today. Cooler presentation and a big crowd on hand. Lots of fans sticking around to celebrate and cheer on that man right there. Fist in the air, whip in the air, Jody Jamieson, the national driving champion. And you can see just how excited he is. Let's look at our final standings here. And Jody Jamieson, as I mentioned, does prevail. 60 points to finish first. Stefan Brosseau second at 56. And Mark Campbell, with his win in the finale, gets himself onto the podium. He'll finish third, 54 points. Tyler Borth was fourth at 50, followed by Keith Legg at 47. Going then to Kelly Hort at 39, Phil Giesbrecht 36, and Nick Boyd rounds things out with 34 points. Great show by all of them, and hopefully a very enjoyable afternoon and weekend all across the board. There's a look at Jody Jamieson, two-time world driving champion, and he gets another crack at it, going for a third title, and he will join James McDonald as Canada will have two representatives in next year's World Driving Championship, which will be held right here on home soil. Going to be an incredible event coming up in a little over a year from now, next August. Right here in Canada. It will all start on Saturday, August 14th at Century Downs in Calgary, Alberta. The next day, they will be at the Track on 2 in Lacombe, Alberta, before they jump on a plane to get to Woodbine Mohawk Park on Monday, August 16th. For leg 3, they get an off day, a travel day to Trois-Rivières to race on Wednesday, August 18th at Hippodrome 3R. And then another travel day on the Thursday as they head out to Old Home Week the night before the Gold Cup and Saucer, Friday, August 20th, leg 5 at Charlottetown Driving Park.
Third national championship at
I think really hard to put into words. I didn't really ever think that I'd ever get another chance to represent Canada. I mean, look at the competition we had here today, and then you got to go up against a guy like James McDonald, who's not only great, he's also lucky. He's the triple threat. But listen, I couldn't be happier. I'll be 50 in November, and I can't even believe I'm going to be 50. I feel like I'm 25 years old, and I'm hungry as ever. So. It just gets the competitive juices going again, and I'm looking so forward to this time next year for the Worlds.
We were talking about you've never lost that internal drive that makes you so good and so competitive. Talk about the other drive. You mentioned it briefly.
Well, I think these other guys here, I mean, it came right down to the last race. That's how competitive it was today, and you know, we had a great group of guys come from across the country, and it was just fun. Like, I mean, I think we all had a great time this weekend, and obviously they think probably this is the greatest outcome of the whole tournament, me winning. So I appreciate that from them. But absolutely, Greg, I couldn't be happier. I'm on cloud 9 here right now. I have my girlfriend Darby's here, my son Jet, and Haley's here, and Sierra's here. My parents are here, Carl and Debbie. I mean, and my sister Brandy's here too. Give her a shout out.
What about this crowd here today, too?
Amazing. I was talking about it on my camera, helmet cam there, about what a great job Clinton and Standardbred Canada have done to get everybody here today. And I mean, look at the crowd; they're still here. I don't know if they want you or me, but they're still here, so it's great.
Finally, prediction for 2027. What's going to happen at the Worlds?
Well, I mean, I just told you about James McDonald. He's the triple threat, but I mean, we're gonna have to take him down somehow. You know, I think he'll be wearing the international colors of the Trotting Association, so I'll get to wear Captain Canada colors again. So push them to the side, and hopefully we can take it back on home turf.
Congratulations. We'll let you go enjoy the celebration.
Thanks a lot, brother.
Jody Jamieson, ladies and gentlemen, your national driving champion. And how about a big hand for all of the drivers competing today? They put on a show that was fantastic. Presentations coming up next.
Jody Jamieson, your 2026 national driving champion, and always one of the best interviews in the game. You can tell just how much this means to him as he gets the job done. Job well done to everybody across the board, all the drivers and all the event organizers, Standard Brake Canada and the crew here at Clinton Raceway. It was a wonderful afternoon for Legends Day 2026. You add in the National Driving Championship, and it was a wonderful show. Now, our eyes look to the World Driving Championship coming up in a little over a year right here on home soil in Canada. Jody Jamieson is heading off to represent Canada. He's your national driving champion. Thanks so much for joining us. On behalf of Jamie McDonald, Greg Blanchard, and the entire crew behind the scenes, my name is Mark McKelvey. We'll see you next time on Prime Time Racing.